Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take us? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe. As I dive in, bloodstains washing underneath the waves. I'll be reaching out to kiss you safe. As we fall, I can't hold on much longer. We're drifting down to the other side. Try to pull us under. Keep holding out for the other side.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to GRLCS Fall 2019 Diamond Division, the finals. I am Jack Lives Lamp Counts, and with me is Alex, Agent A2 2.
Yeah, happy to be here and casting up the GRLCS Fall 2019 Diamond Capped Finals. We're about to get into game number 1 between the number 1 seeds from opposite conferences here in Diamond Cap, the Poopoo Crew and Gecko Slammer Armageddon.
Yeah, and right off the bat, jumping right into the bans, Poopoo Crew gonna ban away Inox's LeBlanc. Makes sense. He plays it a lot and fares pretty well on it, especially in the late game. And Draven gonna be banned away from the 80 carry over on the side of the Poopoo Crew.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see this game. This is kind of a battle of the old guard versus the new hot shots in our
New
league.
hotness, yes.
Yeah, GSM is an organization that has been around the GRLCS for quite a few splits. Poopoo Crew coming in as the winners from our Get Wrecked Summer Splash tournament this last summer, and both of them are hungry for a victory. GSM has yet to pick up a first place finish in any of the GRLCS splits, but they have put together what they consider to be the best possible team of players who have played in GRLCS up to this point.
All right, and so we're gonna see another ban targeting Inox once again with that Pantheon ban, as well as a ban aimed at General Vici, gonna ban away the Kale, and with their first pick of the draft, they're gonna be locking in that Rise. We saw this as a pretty contested
Rise was
pick.
a huge pick for the Poopoo Crew in their semifinal up against Sensei Squad. Saucy Summoners. They have the same alliterative name, team name. But Zaya Rakan, the duo going over to the side of Gecko, Slammer, Armageddon for that superpower bot lane, Rito, Torchic, and Himana.
Yeah, and Rise was also such a big pick in that entire series. Helped win Saucy Summoners Game 2 against the Poopoo Crew. So they're not planning on letting this go over ever again. They're going to lock that in as their first pick, and they're going with Sivir as their pickup against the Zaya Rakan bot lane. Also going with Morgana. Double spell shields, going to avoid getting blade called and engaged on by that Rakan.
Yeah, Morgana, very commonly seen up against the Zaya Rakan. It's very easy to tell when the Rakan is about to knock you up because he stands there underneath you for half a second or so. Half a second's a long time. It's not quite that long, but it's enough time that anyone with reflexes can press E on somebody. And Sivir is going to be locked in for the Poopoo Crew as well in the 80 carry position. They value that more than the Kaisa, which, is fair. Poopoo Crew have had a lot of success with the Sivir throughout the split. Vladimir is locked in for GSM. I expect going into the top lane onto General Vici?
Yeah, it seems like he typically will go for Vladimir or Kale, and then if those are both unavailable, then to the Cho'Gath. He occasionally steps outside of that, but he does very typically fall into those three.
Much his dominant, his predominant picks. Dr. Mundo taken off the board. The Gragas will be removed as well from GSM. Not allow King Yeetlove to assert that early gank pressure on that jungler.
Yeah, Gragas, a big ban against King Yeetlove. He fares pretty well on it. He almost always builds it full AP, but always still seems to be a fairly effective champion for peeling.
The last ban away will be the Lee Sin. Lee Sin was a champion that the Poopoo Crew have had success with in the jungle, and we saw it used to great effect if you watched the World's Finals this morning. No spoilers, but the Lee Sin was quite good.
Whoever was playing it, it was very good.
And the last ban away will be the Zac away from King Yeetlove. Again, something that allows Yeetlove to engage for his team as well as farm up in the late game. Xin Zhao will be picked up for GSM first off after the second round of bans.
They're just going all in on the engage here. Rakan jumping in. Vladimir typically likes to jump in as well. Xin Zhao only has one direction he can jump, and that is in.
That's not true. He can eat minions the other way.
Okay, true. He could jump in the opposite direction.
But you're right. Xin Zhao really only has one way to go, which is in. Trundle will be picked up for the Poopoo Crew, and this could go into the top or the jungle, although much more likely that it will be going into the jungle role. Which maybe I should eat my
Kha'Zix
words
going to
because
get
there's
locked in.
Kha'Zix, because Kha'Zix almost definitely is going only into the jungle
Yeah,
role.
they picked Trundle in that last series we watched of them top lane, and Kha'Zix I don't think we saw come up because it was pretty
It was
frequently
banned.
banned by the
It
Saucy
was banned
Summoners.
every game by Saucy Summoners in their semifinal against the Poopoo crew. So letting that one go over, we'll see if it's worth it. But they'll pick up the Cassidon for Inox, who we'll refer to as him because that is a very difficult summoner name to say.
It is. Okay, for a brief second, General Vici had Cassidy, and I'm like, that's probably not happening.
Yeah,
And
they're
they,
just
they
swapping
traded
around.
back.
I'm very surprised at the how high priority for GSM the Xin Zhao is compared to potentially other junglers. The Xin Zhao is very strong in the early game, but it falls off very quickly. It's not a very effective tool for engage, as we've seen Yeetloaf really prefer to do, but they do have the Rakan to make up for it, and the Rakan is, very easily followed up with Vladimir and Kassadin just running in at them.
Yeah, I feel like they will probably do pretty decently well in these team fights, assuming they don't leave Xayah too far behind to get destroyed by Kha'Zix, and that they don't all run in at the same time and all get stunned by Morgana with a Zanya's or stopwatch.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If the Rakan is their only form of actual engage on the side of GSM, then that means that the Rakan is not there to peel for the Xayah. They're basically saying, Rito Torchic, you've got your ultimate. That's all you get. The rest of us are over there fighting the other team.
Yeah, Kassadin, Xin Zhao, Vladimir, Rakan, they all definitely want to get in, throw down AoE on multiple squishy targets, utilize that bonus damage from the Vladimir ult, and then nuke these squishies, Sivir, Ryze, Morgana. Trundle will be there to try to peel, and Kha'Zix will most likely be looking for a very possibly isolated Xayah if those other four all dive in. So kind of, I feel like if I need to give advantage to one side or the other, just in terms of team comp, I would maybe give it to Poopoo crew.
I think I agree with you. It's gonna be the only way that this possibly goes, or like team fights generally should not go the way of GSM unless Poopoo crew overchase.
Mhm.
And the thing about that is it's also hard for them to overchase because they have Trundle Pillar, they have Sivir Ultimate, and it's it's good for them.
Yeah.
Things will work. Things will generally work out.
Yeah, between those
GS
spell shields and that Morgana ult, it seems like a dive will be a little bit tough, and if Xayah does get isolated, then Kha'Zix will do Kha'Zix things. And they banned it away from him so often, he's probably pretty skilled at the Kha'Zix.
Yeah, at least knows how to play the champion, right?
Yeah. At least enough games on it for them to not want to play against it.
Okay, and Poopoo Crew, they do have a substitute player compared to their semifinals roster in the form of Paige on this Morgana.
Mhm.
Have we seen Paige sub in for them in the past during the regular season?
Not that I remember, but I could have just not been casting that particular week.
You're saying you don't watch every single GRLCS stream, Jack?
I watch a decent amount of them, but that's a lot of hours. I think the number of games streamed, it's kind of hard to gauge because of forfeits and whatnot, but it's over 100 games in the regular season.
Sure,
it's a lot
sure.
of games. But I tuned into some of them.
Double teleports for both solo laners on both teams means that there's going to be quite a bit of emphasis on trying to maneuver the map and get around and join team fights from otherwise inaccessible positions.
Mhm.
Kassadin has the opportunity to disrupt teleports from the opposite team, as does the Ryze and the Trundle. But Vladimir is like, uh-oh, he's teleporting in front of me. Guess I'll just throw down as much damage as I can before he goes.
All
Or
right.
he could possibly teleport in as well, but
Yeah, just
we'll
follow him
see.
in.
I think that the best chance that GSM has is to find a potential flank with General Vici's Vladimir if they want to make if they want to be the ones to make the team fights happen.
Yeah, flanks are going to be necessary. Their flash cooldowns are going to be crucial because they're going to need them to get some of these not quite as excellent engaged champions into the fray quickly. They really need to try to delete these squishies as fast as possible, or else the team fight will quickly go south between Morgana ult and Kha'Zix chasing the Xayah.
Yeah, and it's such a pain for Rakan players everywhere that you can't use your W at the same time as your ultimate anymore. I think that with that in mind, as soon as you see the Rakan, jump into the air and throw the do the little gleamy thing that lets you know that he is ulting, then it's going to be very easy for Morgana to stop that engage, put down the Black Shield, throw the Dark Binding directly at him, because he's obviously going to be wanting to come right at you. It's going to be very difficult for the Rakan to actually have the time to maneuver around a Dark Binding flying in his direction, and then also still be in range to engage with his W.
Yeah. All right. So we see the Poopoo crew. They all 5-man this bush. It's yet to be seen if they're going to be invading or not. But over on the blue side, we've got the Poopoo crew. We've got 52 in the top lane on Trundle, 43 in the jungle on Kha'Zix, 78 in the mid lane on Ryze, and 09 and Paige in the bot lane on Sivir and Morgana.
And on the red side, it is the first place seed from the Nobles District, GSM, General Vici in the top lane on Vladimir, King Yeatloaf in the jungle on Xin Zhao, Inox in the mid lane on Kassadin, and Rita Torchic and Himana in the bottom lane playing the lovers duo Xayah and Rakan.
Yeah, and Xayah Rakan, we mentioned a little bit in Champion Select. Pretty good combo for Rita Torchic and Himana this season. Really excellent level 2 engages to pick up some quick kills with the Ignite and a Blade Caller. We'll see how that goes. If the enemy lane is still level 1, they might not have taken their spell shields, so that could be a possibility. But knowing that, they might also try to shove to hit level 2 at about the same time.
We have now the opportunity to see 2 lovers duos, in not this series obviously, but Xayah Rakan, Lucian Senna in the future.
Yeah.
See which of those 2 ends up being the more dominant. Lucian, of course, very strong in the early game, but that's neither here nor there.
Xin Zhao already going for an engage here.
Attempt knockup from Himana does not connect on the page. King Yeatloaf forces the flash out of both of the bottom laners of Poopoo crew, but Himana unfortunately not landing the knockup off of the flash.
Yeah, burning both summoners on the part of Himana, but definitely gets a worthwhile trade for it. That also looks like it might secure them level 2 first. The enemy bot lane is pretty shoved towards their tower and playing it safe here. So might not be able to turn that into an engage, but yeah, you can see they were walking up at level 1, and they knew they were one
There's
more
the knockup coming down onto 09, and he has no flash, if you remember. Rito Torchic trying to look for some damage, but Himana going very low. Paige just putting down some damage as well. Still has the Ignite at the ready.
Ooh, and just not quite able to make that work to get that kill. Just barely outpacing the Feathers and avoiding that Blade Caller. Yeah, they walked up at level 1, knowing that all Rito Torchic had to do was auto 1 minion for them to hit level 2. So it was kind of a little bit of like a bait, like.
Sure.
But I don't think the Poopoo crew was fooled.
I think it was not too big a deal. It looks really bad if you watch it, but it's really not that big a deal that Himana missed that W at level 1. Because realistically, if it would have hit, more than likely they would have flashed anyways, and they already got the flash despite missing it from King Yeatloaf's gank. So more than likely, really good Dark Binding, but it doesn't matter if Paige goes down for first blood. Rita Torchic rips Feathers through him.
Yeah, Paige, really nice binding to stop that engage. Oh, sorry.
And here comes King Yeatloaf. You remember there's no flash, no heal on 09, so they may just look for the dive. There's very low health bars for Rita Torchic and Himana, but there's no Dark Binding, no CC available. 09, there's a fairly sizable minion wave, there's a knockup, but it's going to be eaten by the spell shield, but Himana goes down to the tower shot. He picked up tower aggro first, and it will be a 1-for-1 in the bottom lane.
Unfortunate for Himana, but helped secure a kill for his team. Xayah now 1-0-1, and a kill over on Yeatloaf as well.
Okay, so Rita Torchic now getting the opportunity to shove a wave into the tower, denies 09 some of that CS, and you see, once again, the double CS numbers for Rita Torchic over his opposite number.
Yeah, they've been playing so aggressively. Yeetloaf has already been down to the bot lane twice. He, you know, currently not too much action going on in the top and mid lane, and he's just turning all his attention to the bot lane. I think we've yet to see 43 really do much in the way.
Mana looking for a roam into the mid lane. He's gonna find the angle on 78. There's the knock. Oh, phase rush gets in the movement speed necessary to dodge away, and really nicely maneuvered by 78 there. All right, so Inox does successfully push in now onto 78. The Rune Prison's just coming out for a little bit of extra damage, and actually clears the minion wave out very nicely. King Yeetloaf looking for something in the mid lane here, as 43 just farming up a storm on this Kha'Zix.
Yeah, currently 36 CS.
Here we go, there's a 2v2, the Rune Prison coming down. Inox does not have the Rift Walk, but the presence of King Yeetloaf is enough to push them away.
Man, that phase rush making it very difficult to gank this Rise. He's not really, you know, wasting it on trades and kind of holding on to it until he sees people pop up in his lane before using that to, you know, help him make a swift escape.
Killer Rise comes down and General Vici will get chomped on a little bit. 52, putting down some good damage, and there's the Conqueror proc. General Vici going very low. He's gonna throw the Hemo Plague, but he doesn't sink the pool and just goes down solo kill in the top lane for 52.
Wow, really underestimating the damage from the Trundle there. That ultimate also deals a pretty fair amount of damage in its own right, as well as shredding your resistances.
Going aggressive on the 78, but 78 still has enough mana to turn it back around. He Rift Locks back towards his jungler. 78 putting the hurt down as Inox tries to just spend the rest of his mana shoving in. General Vici teleporting back to the top lane.
What do you think about these top and mid lane?
Oh, hold on a second, hold the top, because here we go. There's the Black Shield and the Spell Shield going down. Himana looking for a way in. He doesn't get it, but he will be a one trade 0-9, burning the Summoner heal out of respect for the damage coming out of Rito Torchic.
Yeah, and that Black Shield barely had any health left on it, but it was just enough to prevent that Blade Caller from getting the root. Whew.
Yeah, you saw Himana attempting to break the Spell Shield with that Gleaming Quill and with as much magic damage as, you know, Rakan can put out before he tried to use his W, but at the end of the day, not enough to get through it. He just ends up jumping back over to Rito Torchic to shield some of the return damage.
But what do you think about these mid and top lane matchups in terms of champion? I feel like they don't really favor GSM, but they are currently winning in CS.
Yeah, I think, and I could be completely wrong about this, but I think that you expect the Rise to win early on against the Castle. Of course, you know, Rise is a really strong, not really strong, but is a good enough laner and good at punishing laners that are weaker than he is. Kassadin is the penultimate weak mid laner in lane. But as Kassadin goes on, most of the time Kassadin will become, as he is known, the anti-mage. And it'll get better and better for him as the game goes on. General Vici, though, having to back away as soon as the Pillar of Ice goes down. You see as Inox just Rift Locks forward, throws down that Q, the Null Sphere, it gets the magic damage shield, and it shields off a lot of the return damage coming out of 78.
Yeah, I think I'm with you that eventually the Kassadin will hit its stride and fare pretty well against the Rise, but in those early stages, seems like it would be a little bit rough. In the top lane, I feel like General Vici is going to have a fair bit of trouble with the Trundle. I think he's going to need to take a page from...
Of course, that's expected, right? Because Trundle is also a champion that's built to 1v1 you. Here we go, the Root Walk forward on a 78, just a little bit of damage onto it.
Yeah, no, definitely a 1v1 champion. The Pillar is also something that is especially difficult for Vladimir to deal with.
Here we go, there's the Pillar of Ice thrown down on the General Vici, the Sanguine Pool is burned. That's a little bit of damage, but here comes King Yeetloaf trying to turn it around on a 52. The Hemo Plague is thrown down, but they've already used the Subjugate. King Yeetloaf going very low. He flashes after him, but he's not able to finish off the kill. Now he's going to turn his attention on General Vici, as now he's running for his life, but they're not going to overchase this. 43 is in the area.
Yeah, and man, that Subjugate onto King Yeetloaf.
Oh, wow.
There.
43
Woo!
tried to get onto General Vici, who flashes back underneath his tower. Now Inox, he has the level 8, he has his blue buff, looking to try and go aggressive on the 78, but a little bit too much harass damage coming down.
Subjugate just makes it so hard to fight Trundle. So much bonus health, so much damage on the champion he subjugates. It's such a good dueling and skirmishing ultimate.
Here we go. He's going to jump in onto 78. Gets the phase rush. Rune prisons him up. He's waiting for his cooldowns. There goes Himana in with the quickness, but he doesn't get in with the knockup. The Black Shield and the Spell Shield coming down. He doesn't land either of them. The feathers come back. Here's Page Heavy looking for dark fighting. It's going to connect. That's so much damage going down. The Summoner heals down enough to keep Himana alive. Freedom Torchic now trying to kite around. He's got the feathers. He's got the Feather Storm. He gets the root of the Page, but he doesn't throw down the damage. They flash away. 0-9 going very low. There's the Feather Storm, and it takes him out. King Eatloaf down here and trying to get a little bit of damage, but 0-9 has the Spell Shield. Didn't connect either way, but it's a 1-for-1 in the bottom lane.
Goodness, and these fights are all so close. Currently a small, almost half a K gold lead in favor of GSM. Right now these teams are tied in kills. We see some small CS advantages, well, small to medium CS advantages in all three lanes for GSM. However, Yeetloaf has been ganking a decent bit more than 43 and has fallen quite a bit behind in CS.
Yeah, but you see King Yeetloaf, he's been around. He's just, his objective in this game so far has been to ensure that 43 doesn't get ahead by ganking his lanes. You saw 43 attempt in the mid lane a few times. King Yeetloaf was there to balk him. He tried to come around in the bottom lane, but Yeetloaf had already put that bottom lane so far behind early on. But after a few good plays, a big misstep by Himana to try and go in there, and then gets caught by a Dark Binding on the way out, and it ends up being a kill. But Rito Torchic on the Xayah, probably his most played champion in competitive play for us anyways, is just really asserting his dominance.
Yeah, and just because Yeetloaf is behind 43 a bit in CS, his ganks and pressure has helped his laners. Vici.
General Vici and 52 trying to trade back and forth. 52 has picked up the Executioner's Calling to try and nullify some of that Vladimir healing.
Yeah, as well as the Spectre's Cowl, really itemizing for lane against Vici here. Just wants
to... Now they're trying to aggress on the Rito Torchic. Here he goes. There's the feathers coming back in. 0-9 and Page just forcing Rito Torchic and Himana back, although it looks like they came out ahead on the health bar trade.
Yeah, not to mention Page and 09 both burning their ultimates there. Rito Torchic didn't have his available. Himana did not use his. 43 showing up bot. Not going to be able to...
They're going to try and go in on 0-9. That's a really nice ability usage. And 0-9 going down to the Ignite. It is going to be the shutdown going over to Himana. They knew that Page had left to go and help 43 with that dragon, and they take the opportunity to just go hard onto 0-9.
Yeah, and while that Mountain Drake goes over, that is another kill onto Rito Torchic. That's where you want
thrown down. General Vici getting aggressed on by the bites from 52. He will be able to back away. The phase rush movements be giving him a little bit. 52 gonna get the chomp, but there's the slow Hemoplague thrown down, and 52 will back away upon seeing that one.
Vici having such a hard time in these trades.
They're not going to be able to find this 2v1. It's too close to his tower, and General Vici doesn't have the wave control. 52 going to go aggressive onto him anyways. Just give him a little bite.
Just trying to poke him down. He knows that the Subjugate is available, if I'm not mistaken. He knows it's not the longest of cooldowns. Rift Herald will get started to the top lane.
Yeah, King Yeetloaf just trying to get General Vici out of this laning phase. It's not like he's in too much danger of dying, but if left to his own devices, 52 will eventually get to a particular point where he just chases him down. But 43 scoping around, waiting, trying to see if anyone will take the bait that is his mid laner on 78. Inox almost at that level 11 point, and that's a really big breakpoint for the Kansas. You have the Rift Walk rank 2 ready to jump on to 78 at any given opportunity, provided the Kha'Zix is not there.
Xin Zhao, currently getting invaded here. They will spot them out.
The red buff being stolen away. They've got 78 here, but they do have the potential collapse from General Vici, who's on his way down. They're going to jump in onto King Yeetloaf. He throws him back out. Here's Inox. 43 jumps in, trying to get King Yeetloaf, but they can't finish the kill. Now 78 flashes over the wall. Yeetloaf survives. Tower First Blood goes the way of Poopoo through, as General Vici was not there to defend against it.
Yeah, Trundle just noms through towers so
it went over to 78. The Raptor chicken game. Okay, here we go. Inox now going in on the 78. He's got a red buff, so he's actually doing a lot of damage in melee range, just auto-attacking onto him. 78 takes the lesser end of the trade. He rift walks back in. gotta be careful though. 78 does have that mono shield. He's gonna jump in onto it, flashes, it's shut down! Inox gets the solo kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, cost him his flash, but 78 didn't have flash. He knew that. He saw him have to flash out of that jungle fight. 78 was throwing down as much damage as he could at Yeetloaf, but that was not the correct target. Xin Shao's new ultimate, of course, makes him not take damage from people outside of a medium range to himself. So that kept him alive. They were able to take out the Kha'Zix. 78's flash goes down, and Inox capitalizes. He's got that Rod of Ages finished. He's starting to get to that point where he can truly be an anti-mage.
Yeah, and GSM will equalize the tower count. General Vici getting the push in onto that top lane after the recall from 52. You're seeing both of the mid laners in this game go for these hyper scaling builds that have become, one of them is particularly standard in the form of Rise. The Kassadin, sometimes you go the tier, sometimes you don't, but I do rather like the tier in this particular game, where you get the hyper scaling. You just rely on your Zyra Khan to carry you through the stages of the game. Oh, here we go, 0-9 gonna get aggressed on here. The Black Shield comes out, there's the Spell Shield, here's the Soul Shackles, but Imana goes in onto the jungler, tries to break it, he gets under, the torch now Paige on the run, a teleport came in from General Vici, and Yeetloaf is in the arena. Paige takes it, is going down. Inox took out another one under the tower, a double kill for Rito Torchic, and it's 3 kills to GSM.
Yeah, we see the jungler show up to the bot lane for the 4th time this game, as well as 2 teleports here. They will not let Rito Torchic and Hamana go down. They will get a tower and get several kills. However, Trundle takes yet another tower up at the top side after that teleport. He is just a split push king right now.
And now he's 2 levels up on General Vici, just putting down the hurt. But we see exactly what it is that makes Yeetloaf so more powerful jungler in this game. 43 with a huge CS lead. 50 throws down the subjugate onto Inox, who has to back away. General Vici trying to put down damage. 52 has got the spirit visage, so he's just happy to eat all the magic damage, but no, he flashes too aggressively. The Riftwalk away. Yeetloaf goes in, but there's no tower left, and now he's in trouble. 78 is gonna take him down.
I've learned one thing. It's never flash on the Kassadin unless it's a sure thing, else you will be a sad boy. He flashes on Kassadin, Kassadin rift walks away. Your 5-minute cooldown is my, 6, maybe 3 second cooldown, somewhere in that range.
Oh, it's very low at range.
Oh, goodness. But he will end up going down, but not before giving General Vici and Inox serious trouble. Vici, after that assist and throwing out those minions, will get himself up to level 12 as well.
Yeah, and the worst thing is, he could have walked away. There's no way that they kill him if he doesn't flash in the tower there. Now, Poopoo Crew pick up the Infernal Dragon, but here goes Simana. He's looking for the charm. He gets a 2-man knockup after it, but Inox has to get out of the fight, but Rito Torchic is ripping the feathers through. He doesn't get a root. Oh, Inox gets the outplay, takes down 43. A double kill goes over to Rito Torchic. Now 52 in the middle of 4 members of the enemy team. There it is, a double kill for Inox, and 4 members of the Poopoo Crew will fall.
Wow,
Inox looking to try and turn it around, but this is a bad idea. There's 3 members here. A knockup comes through. The 8! 5 members dead for the Poopoo Crew.
So many members on GSM getting very low, but they are very quick as a team to turn their focus, prioritize chain CC and clutch moments, and turn these sticky situations into some kills. And Rito Torchic and Inox, by the way, both playing that last fight incredibly well. Somehow Kassadin, well, he's getting really fed. Kassadin and 43 go toe-to-toe. Inox barely comes out on top. Meanwhile, 2 people are left trapped in the pit, and Rito Torchic, who is rather fed himself, is going to run in there and clean up those kills. They are now 6,000 gold ahead. They are down 2 dragons, but they are up 1 tower.
And you could definitely make the argument, oh, all of GSM, well, 2 out of 3 of GSM's lanes won, right? But I think Yeetloaf has to be given a lot of credit this game. He really did balk a lot of what 43 was trying to do in the early to mid game.
Yeah, I think he ganked mid 2, maybe 3 times. They didn't result in kills, but they did result in a little bit of damage and a little bit of pressure off of the back of Inox, you know? He also went top a few times, just 1 or 2 to try to alleviate some pressure off of Vici. And as we saw, you know, he was behind 43 in CS, but the solo laners, to their own credit, as well as with a little help from Yeetloaf, found themselves with CS leads.
So now General Vici, the lone member who's not monstrously ahead right now, they're gonna let him split push, become Vladimir. Vladimir will just do wonders for you in the team fight after a certain point anyways. So just let him do that.
All right, Kha'Zix still farming up 122 CS. Has died a couple times, but can always find his way onto, an isolated target to start picking up some kills and ramping.
Another thing that it's not bad, right? But 52, something to keep in mind is that 52 has a lot of item components in his inventory. The Executioner's Calling will not go into another damage item outside of the full Mortal Reminder. The Vamp Scepter more than likely going into maybe a Ravenous Hydra. Now, hold on a second. Inox going in on the 78.
Ooh.
The Sheen going into either the Iceborne Gauntlet or the Trinity Force, which I think is more likely. But none of those three items go into the same finished item. So it's going to be a while before he gets a bigger spike. Himana has to back away here. 43, putting down a decent chunk of damage onto the isolated target.
Yeah, not quite fed enough to be able to blow up a, decently tanky Himana. He has that, I actually forget the name of his item. Yup, Zeke's Convergence.
As well as Ninja Tabis.
Yeah, as well as Ninja Tabis and his completed, I don't know what these are really called, warding items, the Eye of Ascension. So, decent bit of tank stats there.
Alright, it's now 4 towers to 3 in favor of GSM, but it's a 6,000 gold lead, and that's coming off of a lot of these tower plates and a lot of the kills, mostly the 11 kill discrepancy between the two teams right now.
Check on the progress of this. 500 out of 750, 2/3 of the way there.
So what will be the next move for GSM? They do have a disadvantage in the form of the 2 dragons, the Infernal plus the Mountain, and they scale fairly well. That Infernal is going to make it so that they scale a little bit better as well. So we'll see if the Poopoo crew can kind of stave off the push. Inox is going to see 43 over the wall.
Yeah, he's going to just back away after getting poked. The ward goes down. He doesn't want to hang out there if they know he's there. Gonna go clear away a few minions and continue to stack that tier.
Poopoo crew trying to get some vision back. There we go. There's a knock-up onto Page. No Black Shield coming out. Just so much damage. And Reno Torchic just rips him apart.
Ooh, that crit was nuts. 2 full finished AD items. Fair amount of crit. One of those crits comes through before the Blade Caller even, and Page just getting
He's gonna realm warp to try and get a flank off. They're gonna try and catch out Eat Love, but there's the knockup coming in. They're putting out a lot of damage before 78 can even move, and here's Reno Torchic gets the flash away, gets the Sarah Shield. Oh, Inox from the backside takes one out. 52 is able to get Himana, but that's all he's gonna get. Reno Torchic goes legendary as Inox gets the double kill on the backside, taking out 43. He's chasing down 78, but has to be very careful. Does he have enough damage? Yes, he does. Triple kill for the Kassadin. For 4-1.
You could see Inox there baiting out the Q a little bit. Needed that big source of damage to get used. Once it got thrown off, he was completely free to just jump in and pop that pretty low health target compared to what, the level that his burst is at.
There is no way that works out for 78. He has to be respectful. He said, okay, I can tank the initial Rakan damage and then the Xin Zhao, but I'm not really all that ahead as Rise. If you can consider him ahead at all, which I don't think you can. But also, he has no vision. If the Xayah shows up, he realizes, oh shoot, the Xayah's there. Guess I gotta flash away, and I realm warp in just to lose most of my health. And then, oh no, our team is dead.
Oh no. Wow, so 901 Kassadin, 908 Reno Torchic. The carries are so fed right now. Both of them with pretty massive bounties, but even picking up some kills in a fight wouldn't even come close.
Oh, here we go. Himana flashes in, gets a 2-man knockup after the quickness, and 78 is going down.
78 goes down. Summoners get burned for some other members of Poopoo crew. This turret's going down. They have the Baron buff. They have a 10k gold lead right now.
And 43 has been so effectively stifled in this game. Inox going in. Holy cow, just rip-booked a second time and Page is down. There it There's another one going on to 0-9. The knockup comes through. Can they finish off 43? No, he goes invisible, and Inox will die to the tower, but they got the inhibitor in the mid lane. That's what they wanted.
Yeah, taking a few too many turret shots. That's going to be 1,000.
Goodness, a crit coming up. 52 just gets taken out. Heatloaf slowed up under the tower, but his team will back him up. Shield and the staring stage will keep him alive.
Man,
They're gonna
Trundle.
look for the end of the game here. 43 is alive, and here comes 78. Page will be up in 6 seconds. The tower going very low, but they are gonna get in as 78 tries to come in. Pops lasagnas. The feathers come out a little bit too early, but it hardly matters. Rito Torchic loses some of his health bar. Himana getting jumped on is gonna have to jump away with the dance. 43 now going in on the General Beachy. General Beachy doesn't have any backup. Here's the quickness. He comes back in, but there's an auto attack from 0-9 who did not get charmed. There's the dark binding onto General Beachy, but he's still alive. Happy to back away here. They lose a couple more, and they are not able to end the game.
Yeah, few bounties going over, but so many turrets taken in the process. The gold lead actually continues to increase for GSM. You see, like, we saw Cassidy have a little bit of trouble taking down the Trundle 52 there, but Rito Torchic didn't have any such problem. Only Ninja Tabi in a bit of health in terms of what Trundle has to deal with this Xayah. Xayah with a whole lot of AD and 75% crit chance. So very high damage coming from Rito Torchic. Almost goes down as 78 came out of the Zanyas, throwing a quick combo onto him, but not quite enough damage. Rise not at that point yet.
Inox finally did fall over, and a shutdown did go to the side of the Poopoo crew, but when you've got an 11,500 gold lead, I don't think that it's too big a deal for you if you're GSM right now.
We have that
coming back from 78, and you cannot cancel the teleport. Can they line it up? No, they can't. They're just gonna let the wave get cleared out. They got the cannon minion hitting away at this tower, slowly working its way down. The Pillar of Ice to try and bring it in closer. There's the Dark Binding in onto Rito Torchic, but he's got a Guardian Angel, and he's got King Yeetlow standing on top of him to throw away anybody who wants to come in on him with that Crescent Guard. Inox gonna have his Banshee's Veil broken. Looking for the engage. General Beachy gets a heal off. Dark Binding not gonna connect. Himana just stepping forward with the threat of that quickness grand entrance engage.
Woo, Binding's gonna come out, not gonna land. They're doing a pretty solid job of holding this tower, especially considering the Baron buff was helping those minions until it ran out. But still clearing them out pretty effectively.
Okay, the inhib is the mid lane is starting to get pushed in by Inox, just trying to get some pressure. Oh, there's some damage onto Himana, and that means that it's going to be a much more hard press for him to go for the engage. The Pillar of Ice thrown down onto Inox at 52 will force him back with that Rift Walk.
Really trying to
quickness, and that's going to be 43 going down. The Flash Shield is not helpful at all. Page flashing away, but it doesn't matter. The double kill as Rito Torchic flashes to follow. There we go. There's the quickness. 0-9 goes down in the backside. King Yeetlow just distracting 78 while his team cleans up. Actually, he might be able to take him down. No, he goes down, but General Beachy will flash to try and finish him up. He will play Pop. Will be the Rampage for the Vladimir.
All right, 4 members go down. Only man remaining is 52. Rito Torchic is still alive.
One tower, and they're going to try and finish this game off. It will be game 1, going the way of GSM to put them at match point for the Diamond Cap Championship.
Whew. All right, game 1 concludes. GSM looks very strong in this one. We'll see how game 2 goes as the Poopoo crew reassess their champion select. Like we had mentioned, we thought that they maybe had a potentially better team comp there, but 43 on the Kazakhs just really struggling to make an impact compared to the Zinshao and the other team. I mean, you know, Zinshao definitely could probably bully out a Kazakhs in the early game. But it didn't seem like 43 ever got the chance to scale. The lanes weren't able to make enough happen in that time, and they were able to snowball that into some pretty big leads for Rito Torchic and Inox. So we'll have to see how game 2 goes.
Yep. All right. We'll see you in just a little bit.
And we are back with this series against GSM against the Poopoo crew. Once again, I am Jack Loves Lamp, and with me is Agent A2.
Yeah, so from the Nobles District, GSM on the red side. Once again, Poopoo Crew had side selection in game number 1, and they opted for the blue side. And in this game, GSM opted to stay again on the red side. So we'll see if they can close it out here, or if Poopoo Crew will even it out and push us to a game 3.
Yeah, I think that they must feel like there are enough power picks that will be left after this after this ban phase ends that they want to go second to try to grab 2 of them rather than going for one specific priority pick. Rise did go over as the first pick for PPC last game when they took a blue side, but GSM
that resulted in GSM picking up the Lovers Duo bottom lane.
Yeah,
and that was quite effective for them. So I think GSM are prepared for a similar situation. We'll see if Poopoo Crew changes it up, or maybe they will say, sure, you can have our Xayah, we'll take your Rise.
Yeah, but they're going to go with the same bans once again. 2 bans aimed at Inox, LeBlanc, and Pantheon, and 1 ban aimed at General Vici, Kale. So not changing up their ban strategy. And so far, it doesn't look like GSM is either.
Yeah, GSM are not changing anything either. They were happy with the results of game number 1. And so we'll see if Poopoo Crew, this is their chance to make something different happen. Otherwise, we might just see the exact same game.
All right.
Or same champion select. And it looks like they say, okay, no, everything went fine in champ select. We just had a mistake in execution. We'll take the Rise again. The Xayah is open for GSM, and they're saying, okay, we'll play your game. We'll run it back. Let's go.
All right. So they do end up getting the Rise this time. What are they going to do? Do they have some sort of plan, right? Like, are they going to try to pick something that goes well against Xayah? Or, like you mentioned, maybe they just think that they could run it back? Nope, already making some changes.
So, yeah, the Kai'Sa is a little bit, generally speaking, higher priority AD carry than the Sivir. Xayah Kai'Sa are just the biggest AD carries in the game right now. Although Poopoo Crew, they definitely have a lot of comfort in that Sivir, so we'll see if his Kai'Sa is as effective as the Sivir. Let's see what they pick up. I expect a support, and it's going to be Sona.
Sona is an interesting pick. It seems like that would be...
It's very squishy. It's very squishy, and I'd be very concerned to make sure whether the Xayah will just eat this Sona alive come level 1, level 2. Gragas will be going over to King Yeatloaf. It was banned against him in game number 1, as they did lock in a non-jungle pick at this point. I think it was the Vladimir they picked up at this stage last champion select.
I think it might have been.
Yeah, it was Vladimir.
Yeah. So yeah, we saw in the bot lane last time. In the Sivir Morgana lane, the spell shields were what kept them alive a very and actually a surprising amount of those fights. The Black Shield coming in clutch, keeping Rakan and Xayah CC off of them, but they're not going to have that this time. Seems like they might have an even harder time to survive.
Inox did pop off a little bit on that champion.
Yeah, last time Vladimir was picked, they used their second ban phase to ban away 2 junglers, but this time they will be grabbing the Gragas in the first rotation. However, they're not going to be throwing some bans the way of General Vici with at least one of their second ban phase bans.
Yeah, like you said, they might throw the Vladimir ban out and force General Vici onto his 3rd pick, which we might predict to be the Cho'Gath. Although, of course, he could easily swap over to something else. They're gonna try and pinch the jungle champion pool of the Poopoo Crew with the Lee Sin and the Elise bans. They do leave the Kha'Zix open.
Yeah, and this time they don't have, not that Gragas couldn't potentially put some pressure down, but not as much early pressure as the Xin Zhao, perhaps.
So a lot more utility in this Gragas for King Yeatloaf, trying to be a little bit more of a setup for his team.
All right, what will this pick out of ban phase be?
I expect, Ziggs is a very interesting one.
assuming mid lane.
Yeah,
Probably.
I don't see it being Ziggs top lane. Ziggs
Yeah.
top is something that only bad players like Soaz do. So
Oh,
I'm
I
kidding. If
almost
you're a
forgot.
Ziggs top player, I'm not blaming you. But so when Soaz did it, it was pretty troll. Urgot might be the pickup for the top lane for Poopoo Crew. This will be a blind pick Urgot. Of course, you do have to blind pick it as the top laner has not been locked in yet for GSM. We'll see what General Vici opts to pick up in response, and Hecarim might be the big frontliner that you need on the side of the Poopoo Crew. Just dive into the back line. But picking Hecarim against Xayah is very. Ooh, never mind. Maybe we'll see the Nidalee, some hyper aggressive, get ahead of you jungler for the side of the Poopoo Crew.
Yeah, GSM picking the Gragas, banning away Lee Sin and Elise, 78, or sorry, not 78. But the jungler, which I believe is 43 typically, unless they do any sort of lane swapping. 43 playing that Nidalee, kind of falling down the ladder, of some of the more prominent aggressive junglers, but still picking one anyway. I'm going to look to try to use that.
All right, and there it is. You called it the Ziggs or the Cho'Gath coming out
the
to the
Ziggs
top lane
top.
after the Kayle Vladimir are taken out. They'll push General Vici onto the top lane Cho'Gath.
All right. We've got a fairly tanky champion in the form of Urgot, but then we've got 4 squishy targets. Rakan looking for engages, Gragas looking for engages, Cho'Gath probably focusing a little bit more on peel if he can't land a good silence or rupture onto a target, and Ziggs probably going to be playing even behind the Xayah, just spamming that Q and throwing the R to hit as many squishy targets as possible when the chance arises.
Yeah, so this game is all about whether 43 can really abuse the jungle matchup between him and King Yeatloaf. Of course, the Nidalee is super powerful in the early game and the mid game. Just throw out those spears, execute the javelins, and execute the opposite number of your enemy jungler. But the Gragas has a lot of potential to, if there's the call out from King Yeatloaf, Inox or General Vici can very easily just collapse, and body slam means the Nidalee's not going anywhere.
Whew, well, all these squishy champions, Ziggs could fare very well against them if Inox gets ahead. That ultimate, even in the outer ring of it, can seriously chunk a squishy target, and he's got a lot of them. So he could probably just chunk that into a team fight and potentially even just split the enemy team in half with proper positioning. They've only got the one tanky champion in the form of Urgot, and even then...
yeah, and Urgot's not like a
low.
true tank. He's kind of a more bruiser oriented.
Definitely low on the list of tankier champions. He's a juggernaut.
Right.
But that will probably get shredded by Xayah if Rito Torchic is able to stay in the game, especially if Rito Torchic is able to do what he did
and
last
I
game.
have to say, I think that giving over, you saw it coming on the side of the Poopoo Crew. You knew if we pick Rise, they're gonna pick Xayah Rakan. That's exactly what they did in game number 1. Why would they change anything? So you knew that it was about to be that they were about to pick up Xayah Rakan in their first rotation. So I think it was a mistake to let this go through.
I agree. Clearly, they're very proficient at it. Clearly, it's a strong combination. Xayah is one of the best AD carries. Rakan goes very well with her. They're very experienced.
And also,
at this combo.
they're champions. This is Rito Torchic and Himana as League of Legends champions.
And when you see it go through and they pick up the Rise, you think, okay, so they liked having the Rise. They'll pick a more aggressive jungler this game, so that way they can, give Rise a little more assistance. They're gonna go. And then I thought they were going to maybe go with a bot lane that could just weather the Xayah Rakan storm, pick an aggressive jungler, and try to help the Rise get ahead. But we see Lee Sin and Elise get banned, which pushes 43 on Nidalee, which is, at least in terms of what's meta, less priority aggressive jungler. And then they picked the Sona as the support rather than something that seems like it would help in the Zaya Rakan lane a bit more. I know Kai'Sa Nautilus is considered to be a pretty decent combo. In that combo also could help them out. Nautilus would probably be a little bit tankier than Rakan. If Rakan engaged, Nautilus tries to eat up the engage, puts down some stacks, helps Kai'Sa burst Rakan down, hopefully faster than Zaya can burst down the Nautilus to help you win those fights. But they went with Sona.
If you want to win that matchup, as Nautilus, you got to get the auto attack off so that you get your aftershock proc before
Right.
you get knocked up.
That makes sense.
So that you can actually eat the damage.
So you can
but
weather the storm.
Sona, under no circumstances, can eat the damage if she gets knocked up. So
yeah,
I don't
definitely
know.
just going a more scaling lane here.
Yeah, I really don't know how I feel about the Poopoo Crew draft here. We thought they won Champion Select in game number 1, but I think that they have picked a much harder comp to execute in game number 2 compared to that of GSM.
Yeah, and if Nidalee kind of struggles, she's just going to find herself getting popped by probably Yeetloaf with any member of his team assisting. Nidalee is pretty squishy.
Okay, so here we are getting into game from the Imperial District. On the blue side, it is the Poopoo Crew Seed 1 with 52 in the top lane on Urgot, 43 in the jungle on Nidalee, 78 in the mid lane on Rise, and in the bottom lane 09 and Paige on Kai'Sa and Sona as we come into a pause.
Yeah, a little bit of lag, I assume. Let me adjust these. My bad. There we go. Over on the red side, we've got Vici in the top lane on the Cho'Gath, Yeetloaf in the jungle on Gragas, Inox in the mid lane on Ziggs, and Rito, Torchic, and Hamana in the bot lane on Zaya and Rakan. Yeah, just a quick little thing.
Yeah,
someone
representing the Nobles District.
Ah, yes, the Nobles District.
That's GSM.
Yeah, we're gonna have to avoid using the TFT stuff in the future in case we ever.
Yeah,
do
now we
some.
we gotta change over to Inferno and Cloud, I guess. Oh, here we go. There's a Javelin. Almost connects onto Himana actually. And just because we had a pause, let's ensure that our timestamps are synced up. What are you currently sitting at?
Sure, I'll hit the fast forward real quick. I'm at 50 seconds.
Okay, cool. We're lined up. Okay,
Alright,
so
not much of a fight there at level 1. Everyone gonna
just
head
a
off
little
to
bit
their
of
lanes.
early invade wards on the side of Poopoo Crew into the enemy jungle. Fairly important for the Nidalee to keep track of where Yeetloaf starts off his clear, so that you can potentially abuse the matchup.
All right, interested to see how this laning phase is going to go. Yeetloaf on a champion that is, still has some okay early ganks, but not nearly as aggressive and as good of a dueler / skirmisher as a Xin Xiao is. And 43 on a much more aggressive jungler in the form of Nidalee. So it could definitely, just on the jungle picks alone, kind of shape the course of how this game plays out. I also feel like Cho'Gath is a much easier target to kill than a Vladimir as well.
Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. In terms of the lane matchups, how do we expect this to go? Do you think, at least in the solo lanes, how do you think? Oh, hold on a second, Himana doesn't quite get the knockup at level 1, but again, the Zaya Rakan just putting down the damage, but Himana takes the lesser end of the trade, about half HP, although he does have more potions to work with than the Kai'Sa.
I feel like Ziggs will probably do just fine against Rise. He's always, susceptible to getting ganked, but, saving that W of his, despite getting slowed or CC'd, can, push him back towards his tower. I do think, though, that just as a, intuition kind of thing, that Cho'Gath might struggle with the Urgot. He wants to get melee lane gets melee range to get some CS, and Urgot can really easily turn that into an E, which will lead to a whole lot of HP shredding, and Cho'Gath, stacks a lot of HP, so that'll be pretty effective against him.
Alright, here we go. Himana looking for it. Oh, he is actually going to find the knockup on the page, but 09 a little bit farther forward is able to stop Rito Torchic from really engaging on his support.
Yeah, it hits a nice peak range. Inox needs to be a little careful. Using those W's, that satchel charge aggressively, means it's not available. when the Nidalee comes to game.
Yeah, but the Nidalee is here in the bottom lane. He's gonna try and pull a fast one on the bottom lane. Rito Torchic, nice sidestep on the Javelin, but the red buff slows coming out from 43. Oh, Himana, he uses it a little bit early. The Javelin will connect onto Rito Torchic. The Summoner heal comes out. King Yeetlop is here. The teleport coming from General Vici. Here he goes. Page is going very low. Silence up. No flash. First flight goes to King Yeetlop. Here's the teleport from both the solo laners, as well as Enox. It's a 5v5 fiesta in the bottom lane. Here's the Javelin on his General Vici, gets a knockup. Two-man knockup from Himana, but he goes very low, and the execute goes down. 78 goes down to the ignite coming out of Himana. A Javelin gonna connect onto a minion, and another kill goes the way of GSM.
Yeah, Himana sacrifices the body there to secure his team another kill. 78 will
himself a kill. He got it with the ignite.
You're right. The ignite was what got it. Ends up being a 1-for-1 there. 78 goes down. A whole bunch of teleports all appearing into the bot lane. Both the junglers appearing as well. Yeetlop might look for something on the 43 here. He has the health advantage, but he doesn't have the health level
down,
advantage.
and 43 is a ranged champion just going to try and abuse King Yeetlop. If he doesn't land the body slam, and I don't know if he has enough damage even with it to connect and land onto 43. He's trying to secure the Scuttle Crab, but I don't. He does have Smite, so does King Yeetlop. They're gonna. Oh, it goes over to King Yeetlop, and here goes the knockup. Doesn't quite connect onto 43 from Himana.
Yeah, really nice knockup attempt from Himana there, but a really nice dash in response. 43 going to pounce away.
78 having a much better time in this lane compared to last game. He's slowly pulling ahead over Inox, and General Vici now getting slowed up. He silences him up, looking for the... Oh, he does it! He buffers the jump into the Rupture. Now General Vici taking a lot of damage from 52, and we might see a repeat. General Vici does not have... Or, he does have his flash, rather. 52 does as well.
Nidalee might look for something anyway, especially if Vici doesn't back right away.
Carrying forward. He's gonna take a little bit of damage from 78 on his way out, but he's just trying to get the wave shoved out. Page's damage gonna be shielded up by that battle dance. General Vici now in a bad spot. He's about to get dove, and that's a huge minion wave that they have prepped up for it. Inox is effectively being cut off. Here's the Javelin toss. He's gonna connect. General Vici silences him up, and will he get the execute? Oh, he does, and he does live as well. It's actually 52 that picks up the kill.
Yeah, by throwing down that ability there, he did leave himself standing.
That's a really good one. Oh, a little bit of a desync there, as they did not land the body slam after the satchel charge knocked 78 back towards him, and it will just be 78 walking out of there.
Yeah, and up there in the top lane, Cho'Gath has to stand still briefly.
Oh, here we go. There's the knockup. It's not going to connect onto 0-9. 0-9 trying to get out of there. Doesn't get rooted up, and now Himana going to be taking a little bit of damage back instead, and he actually flashes away, afraid of the pop from that plasma from 0-9.
Yeah, things getting pretty dicey here in the bot lane. But 0-9 is doing a fantastic job of staying away from the Blade Callers, staying away from the knockups from Rakan, and the fact that Sona has been picked hasn't really mattered too much yet. Sona's just been hanging back behind the Kai'Sa, letting Kai'Sa focus on juking.
Yeah, but 0-9 at this level of health does have to play a lot more carefully. Himana knockup will mean almost certainly that Rito Torchic is able to get enough damage to take him out with no flash and no heal on that Kai'Sa. Now they're going to look for it. Nice sidestep on the knockup, and Himana's coming in. Here's the Javelin, not going to have the range. The Blade Caller doesn't root anybody up, and Rito Torchic going low with the Ignite.
Yeah, 43 shows up, chucks a spear or two, and will be leaving, but not before the lane gets shoved up, and Rito Torchic gets chunked. Page's Ignite also down. Will Nidalee look for some sort of dive here? Throws on a trap, but doesn't look like going. He's going to be going for the dive.
Yeah, and doing a really good job on the side of 0-9 and Page to actually sidestep away from these Rakan knockups. He's going to look for it here onto 0-9, and there's the sidestep once again. He has enough movement speed with that supercharge, as well as the Song of Celerity coming out of the Sona.
Yeah, 0-9 is in the zone, and Himana's just finding himself unable to force 0-9 into a knockup, which is, preventing a lot of the pressure that Himana and Rito Torchic are normally able to put down.
They are still pulling ahead in terms of creeps. Rito Torchic up about 2 waves worth. Now they're trying to go hard for it. Himana not going to find the knockup onto 0-9 again, and Himana just goes down. Rito Torchic did not get the root with the Blade Caller, and it's the 2v2 outplay the other direction for Poopoo.
He's really going hard onto 0-9, trying to get the kill. At some point, I feel like maybe just try hitting the Sona instead. I know that Sona is standing a little bit farther back, but might have a little more success. She still does have that Song of Celerity for the speed boost to keep her away from that, but clearly not having a lot of success in hitting 09 on point with the jukes.
And I don't know why it is that Rito, Torchic, and Himana, it seems like they're playing very rushed. They're trying to make something happen when I don't think they need to. Rito, Torchic is ahead in CS.
Yeah. And then after that, though, after their aggression, Himana jumping in, didn't have either summoner available, ends up going down and giving a kill over to 09.
And that's
losing that CS advantage over to that kill.
Yeah, so now 700 gold is the lead for the Poopoo crew. 52 just trying to get the wave in a good position to try and shove in a big one in onto General Vici. There's the rupture onto him. Himana trying to find something over the wall into 78. They're going to go for it now. This knockup does not connect, and neither will the satchel truck. Well, there it is, but it knocks him the other direction away. King Yeetloaf is here with the Predator pop. 43 hanging around. The Javelin toss going to connect.
Poopoo crew doing a great job avoiding aggression and ganks right now.
General Vici putting down a lot of damage onto 52, and he does have the feast available. If he can land another rupture, this might be it for 52. He does get the knockup. General Vici, he forces the flash out, but that's a massive slow. He's going to try and slow one of his own, and General Vici doesn't have the flash. Nice sidestep. He's not going to be able to get the feast damage off.
Ooh, getting
maybe
very
he did,
close.
Or maybe it just didn't have enough damage to kill. I can't tell. Or maybe he didn't have mana for it. That might have been it too. But in either way, 52 does survive.
I feel like he might have had the mana, but just didn't quite have the range after that last auto. Oh, it's hard to tell, but barely not able to pick up that kill. Does burn his opponent's flash, though. Will get some CS and go back away.
Yeah. General Vici going for what looks to be the Hextech GLP. He took Glacial Augment, and yeah, definitely the Hextech GLP.
Yeah, going for that GLP, just going to be a giant slow machine with decent damage.
Yeah, Enoch's going to be handed off his blue buff. We're starting to see the CS discrepancy open up between 43 and King Yeetloaf. Rather expected based on champions alone.
Uses that satchel charge aggressively quite a bit. I mean, maybe, that's just efficient, but also seems like it's a little dangerous.
Yeah, it is a little bit dangerous if he were to get jumped on by the Nidalee. Now he has no escape and no way of knocking her off of him. But, he hasn't been punished for it yet. Maybe he's keeping a good watch on where that Nidalee is. And yeah, he does it. The Nidalee's nowhere near this mid lane right now. So maybe he knows something we don't. Or maybe he knows that he knows something that we don't know that he knows. Because we obviously know everything about the game itself.
Oh, man.
Oh, there's a root coming down, but Himana not in range to get the knockup onto 09.
Predator got burned by the Gragas when he was near bot lane, but 09 and Sona, Paige, really quickly respond, use their speed boost, and sprint towards the tower, avoiding any sort of fight. They are hyper aware right now, because they know that one CC ability could start a chain.
Into the next.
Yeah, that would just result in one of them dying. So they have to be incredibly on their toes to make it in this lane.
General Vici gonna land another rupture on the 52. Just a little bit of harass as General Vici getting shoved into his tower.
Rito Torchic
just finished off for 78.
Rito Torchic and Amana, though they were unable to make anything happen so far in terms of kills, they have still built up a steady lead for themselves. They definitely have some priority in this lane.
Yeah, and it looks like Yeetloaf trying to take out that mountain right now. Yeah, and it looks like he's gonna get it, ever so slow as he may be, but we're gonna see 43 in the area. Himana just making sure that he doesn't go and interrupt that dragon taken by his jungler. It will be secured for Yeetloaf, and 43, just under my nose,
Yeah. Alright, Dragon goes down. Mountain Drake going over to GSM, but all these attempts at ganks that have been unsuccessful have resulted in a pretty big level discrepancy between these junglers. And in terms of actual results, they're equal right now. 1 kill, 1 assist each, but pretty solid CS discrepancy.
I think that this has been a really good move by the Poopoo crew in their draft to take away the Kassadin at the very least. The Ziggs can have a lot of impact, but it limits the playmaking potential from this mid laner in the form of Inox.
And despite picking a more aggressive jungler, we see 43 using that early game strength
He's
to
just
really
using
focus on.
the ability of Nidalee to farm really fast. 30 CS up, 2 levels up over King Yeetloaf, and he hasn't been ganking because I think he realizes Yeetloaf's just going to be there to stop me. I'm just going to make sure that he's useless come these team fights by making him not tanky enough to engage and not do enough damage in order to actually just burst someone down.
Yeah, and his laners are playing very safe. Woo! And Ryze is starting to come online. His laners have been playing incredibly
Oh, here we go.
safe.
They're going to look for it. They're going to go for Paige. There's the crescendo, and there's the quickness coming out, but Paige flashes out of range. Here's the teleport coming in from 52, as well as General BT. There's the root coming down. 0-9, a little bit far forward. The Rupture going to come out here, but he goes forward. They're going to try and get on General BT. Himana gets a knockup. There's the ultimate coming in. There's the killer instinct. Himana goes so low. He flashes away. Rita Torchic has to flash away. There's the blade collar coming out. Nobody's dead.
Ooh, but the fight definitely going in favor of the Poopoo crew. That Urgot really strong in that fight there.
Yeah, the Black Cleaver Urgot is, in terms of one item spikes, a little bit more efficient than the Hextech GLP Shogat. Just adds so much power to your ability to fight enemy champions. The GLP is more of a pick tool, and now Inox is getting harassed quite a bit by this Ryze.
Apparently, whenever we think team comp is better, they lose.
Here we go. They're gonna. Oh, don't quite get the interrupt. That might have actually been a kill with Yeetloaf in the area with Flash, with Body Slam, and with his ultimate up. But 78 does finish the recall off. Balls of Steel on that guy.
It seems that they have decided to lane swap.
Ooh, Realm Warp in. Here comes 52. 78 gonna get a Rune Prison off. 52. There's the explosive cast to disengage. Yeetloaf able to make it out alive with just the use of his ultimate.
Yeah, ultimate burned on the Gragas, flash burned on the Ziggs. I don't know if he had the satchel charge available or not, but I really feel like he should use it a little more sparingly. It could be a pretty effective CC tool if somebody's really lined up for it, but it is, you know, how you feel for others, how you feel for yourself. Maybe, yeah, and there I think he just used it again. I feel like he needs to use it a little more sparingly. I don't know, maybe that's just my opinion, but had to burn flash there without it.
Alright. 52 gets spotted out by a ward placed down by Himana, but he's just going for it because he's got the backup of both of his bottom laners here. Himana and Rita Torchic instantly disengage.
Yeah, Cho'Gath by himself in the bot lane does not have teleport available. So any fights that break out here on the top side of the map very well could be a numbers disadvantage for GSM. And it looks like everybody...
This is going to be a huge numbers disadvantage. You see 78 and 43 coming up. Paige is going to get charmed up as well as 0-9, but that's a good crescendo to not allow the blade color to come out. And here comes 78 looking for the Rune Prison. Rita Torchic pulls the feathers back. The killer instinct! He did not have the Featherstorm cooldown available. 2 kills to the Poopoo crew.
Ooh, and that heal is clutch, keeps him alive. And 52 looking for something on General Vici here potentially. Not gonna go for it. That top turret gonna have some pressure on it. We are past the 14-minute mark. The plates are no longer a thing. Leaving a Kaisa alone with an AD carry. Oh, first turret actually gets blown up by Ziggs, who decides to shove down the mid range.
Right.
Yeah, he gets to detonate from like, what, 20% health at rank
Something
1?
like that.
Maybe it's lower, but I do know it gets pretty high.
It is currently 30% because he has 3 points in his satchel charge. Oh, Javelin Toss lands on the Yeetloaf. Oh, nice! 43 holds the jump for the body slam and is able to get the leap on, flashing over the Rupture, and 43 gets the kill on the King Yeetloaf.
Yeah, waits just a little bit too long to detonate that cask. And 43 ends up dashing to get out of it before he can pop it.
It's kind of a mind game when Nidalee and Gragas find each other in the jungle. Yeetloaf tries to use the body slam to interrupt the pounce, but 43 says, I'm holding on to it, and then he jumps in after the body slam misses. Here we go. There's the pull over on the General Vici, but it's a little bit tankier. There's the ultimate. General Vici going very low. There's the... No! No! The Ziggs damage is able to kill 52 before he can grind up the Cho'Gath. Realm Warp coming in. 43 gonna get slowed up. He's trying to get in there. 43 goes down. General Vici dies to the tower, and Inox is now getting teleported on from the Realm Warp from 78 and Page.
Yeah, and once they realized that Realm Warp was happening, I think they realized their only option to make the best of that situation was to kill the Nidalee and take the tower. They do go down in exchange, though. So they wind up picking up 2 kills for 2 kills and a tower, but they will lose out on this Infernal Drake, which is
They're going to
huge.
try and trade the Rift Herald for it.
Yeah, if they can get this Rift Herald, this won't have been a terrible trade for GSM. They will actually, you know, mostly come out on top. They got Herald and a tower for Dragon and 2 for 2 in terms of kills. So GSM, depending on how you value that Infernal Drake coming out on top, but quite possibly not, considering it can be pretty good on some of these champions on their team.
Yeah, Kaisa and Ryze and Nidalee, Urgot, all those champions do really well with that extra damage stats coming out. The Mega Inferno Bomb used to clear out a minion wave as the Twin Shadows come out, trying to see if they can find somebody sticking around a little bit too long. Look at the
wave clearing.
yeah, the big discrepancies coming out. Side lanes winning out in terms of CS for the side of GSM. But General Vici not having the best games so far, has been killed off a few times now, and a huge jungle discrepancy for 43 over Team Vici.
Yeah, 43 just going so hard on farming and counter jungling, and it really set him ahead. Gragas attempting a whole lot of games, but to know...
78 gonna get jumped on by Himana. There's the explosive cast. Flashes away from the quickness. Here comes General Vici. There's the slow coming out. 78 stuck around a little bit too long, and he's not going to be able to get anything as the feast comes out from General Vici.
I always feel a little conflicted, right? As Cho'Gath, you don't want to take all the kills away from the carries, but you also are like, I get a lot of bonus HP if I kill this person with my feast.
Right.
Urgot waiting here over the wall.
Uh-oh, slow. Might have been targeted there, but there's the Rift Herald coming in. 0-9. Gets caught by the rupture. The slow from the Hextech GOP comes in clutch. 52 just dove into 4 members of the enemy team, and he will go down as well. A double kill to Reno Torchic. Now 5 members plus the Rift Herald hitting away at this in-him tower. It's blown up by the satchel charge. The inhibitor goes down in 20 minutes. 43 has come a little too close. His body slams out. Reno Torchic taking a lot of damage. Knockout comes in. There's a lot of damage on the 78. The best. There's a rip through, and that's gonna be another kill. 78 goes down. The Rift Herald finally falls. 43 is throwing those javelins out. Yeetlov eats it for his support. And now 43, will he jump in on this one? The minion eats that one. General Vici getting slowed up by the red buff. The Guardian Shield comes out. There's the rupture. Yeetlov just trying to make sure that nobody goes down. 43 gonna continue the chase off. Here's the teleport coming in from 52. They get the knock up onto him, and they get the grind. That's a fierce AoE. 52 will pay the price. No, he won't. He gets the shield from the Sona. The minions do finally finish the job. The blade tower comes out. Yeetlov gonna get executed. A double kill for 43.
Woo, really nice chase, really good job on their part, keeping track of 52's death timer, keeping track of that teleport, knowing that they had a ward that they could teleport to deep in that lane. Here comes another teleport as well. Ryze is here.
Ooh, does a big chunk of damage to 0-9. 0-9
Oh,
might die.
9 almost goes down to Comet and Baron damage. Inox needs to try to poke. Oh, he successfully prevents them. He throws in that satchel charge to double check. They have left the Baron. A nice ultimate from Inox there.
Yeah, I get the. I feel like it was. Paige was like, "Don't worry, I'll shield you," and 0-9's like, "Okay, I'll just continue DP." Oh, uh-oh, where'd my health go?
Oh man. Okay,
but yeah, Baron effectively stopped by that Mega Inferno Bomb and the threat of bombs raining down from Inox over the wall. Double Essence Reaver coming out for Reno Torchic. That's interesting. So the cooldown reduction does not stack, and neither does the mana gain because they're unique passives. So basically, this is strictly inferior to Infinity Edge. So I think this was a mistake, actually.
Yes, this seems like it may have been a mistake, unless this Xayah knows something we don't. But that definitely seems like it was an accident. All right, so next dragon spawning shortly. 35 seconds on that. It is a second Mountain Drake, would be their second of the game. Really helped them in taking down those towers, and of course Baron and future dragons.
How long has he had the double essence reaper? I had my overlay set to the gold to keep track of the gold discrepancy between the positions, and I swap over and all of a sudden double essence reaper.
I honestly just noticed it recently. Twitch chat also pointing it out. Not sure how long it's been there, but oops.
43 might be caught out here as the spooky ghost coming out from the twin shadows from General VG, trying to zone him away from this mountain drake. 78, Page, and 09 coming in from the other side. 43 looking for General VG. Is he just gonna jump in onto the Cho'Gath? I think that's probably not the best idea.
Yeah, you'd probably be setting yourself up for an E silence.
Whoa! Big chunk of damage on Rito Torchic off of the Javelin as they go for the control ward. Now Rito Torchic a little bit chunked. He's gonna have to burn that ultimate a lot more liberally.
Nidalee on the backside.
Oh,
now.
78, gonna be trying to get caught. Here we go. That's a good use of the glacial augment. They're gonna get the kill on the 78. There's the hemo play, or the explosive cast. 52 goes in, gets an AoE fear as he executes it. The final storm comes out. Rito Torchic goes down. The execute coming out of the Nidalee. There's the javelin onto General VG as he slices over the wall. Himana tries to jump out onto a 52, getting the slow onto Himana. He's gonna get another battle dance. The Void Seeker takes down General VG.
Wow, and what looked like it was going to start out to be a pretty good fight quickly turned south. They left Inox kind of in the back there, taking a ton of damage, and then getting nommed by 52. 52 proceeding to just pop off and melt down General Vici and the Xayah. They were just all in a big cluster, so they set themselves up to get engaged on, and they weren't able to peel it off.
No flash. He can't get in, and even if he did, there's a 3-level discrepancy between the smites. 52. He's gonna get. He's stolen! Yeetlo gets the Baron! Himana's gonna go down, and so will King Yeetlo, but it's gonna be a Baron denied to the Poopoo crew.
Alright, nope. Were Rito Torchic and Inox alive to receive the Baron buff?
It does not appear that Rito Torchic has it. The
No.
red buff is gonna be taken away by 43. Inox does not have it either, and the red buff resets, so never mind.
Whew, goodness gracious. If you are really desiring a replay, I recommend using Twitch's fantastic flipping tools. Wow, alright, Baron gets stolen. He immediately hops into the Zanyas, not really to any sort of effect. Nobody's alive to pick up that Baron buff. Nobody's alive to pick up that, 52. Might find Rito Torchic here.
Everything calming down a little bit. It appears that Rito Torchic has noticed his mistake and gotten rid of his second Essence Reaper for the Infinity Edge. Probably a few question marks coming out of his team for that one, as not super efficient.
Looks like they are down here trying to finally get this Mountain Drake.
It's gonna be a Mountain Drake, and General Vici is here now. He's got the feast ready to. Nope, it's gonna go to King Yeetlo. He's trying to save that feast for the team fight.
Alright, 2 Mountain Drakes. Currently a small gold advantage for the Poopoo crew.
Yeetlo looking for a pick on a 78, but they're not gonna find it. 09 gonna get tagged by the Luden's Echo.
Void Missile going to get blocked away by Himana's shield there.
Oh, 43 and General Vici going at it down here. The Rupture not going to connect. This 43 going to turn back around, heals himself up, throws the Javelin toss, jumps in. General Vici going very low. The Red Smite isn't enough. The Javelin comes down, and he goes dominating as General Vici will fall.
Hard to juke Javelins when you are such a big champion.
Oh, wow. Alright, 43 really asserting his dominance on this Nidalee. 8-1 and 7 right now.
Alright, so Cho'Gath is down. Nidalee is split pushing.
Found out by 52 here. 78 looking
around
for
the
a
backside,
potential
actually.
play. What is this? Oh, there we go. They're just gonna turn on to him. What is this? What? 78 just gave up a kill for no reason.
Seemed like he was about to flash in, maybe try to go for a combo on a squishy target with the assistance of his team, but they spot him just a little too soon. He's not able to execute his plan, and they blow him up. Not that his plan would have been amazing,
how is this
but
team gonna get in there? It's not like they have like super fast dashes or anything like that. The Rakan's on the enemy team.
There's only
can't-
one explanation, and that is that the check is cleared. No one's.
Oh, goodness.
Man. All right, so Cho'Gath having a little bit of a tough time. Has gone a little bit of a squishier build between Hextech GLP and those Twin Shadows. Does have the Abyssal Mask, but still quite an easy target for the Nidalee, it seems. Nidalee very ahead, ton of CS this game, 210 CS on a jungler, and hasn't even gone full damage per se. Went the Athenes to help beef up those heals.
Yeah, the Athene's fairly standard on these jungle Nidalees. It's just super cheap, but also gold efficient, especially on Nidalee, who benefits from both the AP and the extra healing. So fairly common. And then he's picked up the Lich Bane for more execute damage, as well as the Morale-Indomicon for that magic penetration and the ever so slight ability to apply grievous wounds.
Yeah, not as effective, on a Nidalee, but still helpful. Does the Runic Echoes pop apply, Morello, maybe?
It does.
Oh, okay, so it helps it a little bit. Hit a long-range spear, put down some anti-healing for a brief moment.
Oh, here we go. That's the Twin Shadows. They're going to look for the... Oh, 0-9 doesn't quite have it. There's another Glacial Augment, but they're putting down a lot of damage in return. Page is now the target. The silence comes out. Reno Torchic's in range to just auto-attack, and General Vici feasts onto the Soda.
General
Now,
Vici.
78, this is not a good spot for you. There's the Predator pop by King Yitlo. Himana coming in. 78, gonna get jumped on. The Explosive Cast, he flashed over it. He's gonna try and turn around the damage on the Himana. He's doing his best, but he cannot to out-damage 5 members of GSM. Oh, there it is. A huge Javelin Toss takes out more than half of Reno Torchic's health bar. 0-9. They're gonna look for another GOP. The Glacial Augment comes out. Himana now in a bad spot. Mega Inferno Bomb, not gonna find a target. And the killer instinct with the silence comes out. Too deep from the Poopoo crew. General Vici is gonna go down to 52 in the back line. And 43 wreaking havoc on King Yitlo. One more auto attack will finish him off.
They're really trying to chase down this kill
Running out
on.
the backside, looking for the bombs, but it's gonna be it.
Here comes the spear.
They successfully take out Yitlo and General Vici. Javelin Toss is coming out.
That Javelin Toss was on point, just didn't quite have the range. Goodness, and just barely unable to take out 52 there. He will finish that back. Oh, the spear coming in, trying to look to steal that, but Zaya will still get it. Inox, gotta be careful here.
Oh, look at the the Runic Echoes proc plus the Dark Harvest, but now 43's in a bad spot. Satchel charged up, gets the execute before it goes down to the tower.
And that Satchel Charge did CC the Nidalee a bit, but actually ended up knocking him just close enough to flash on to the Ziggs, picking up that kill onto Inox. Inox won't be around for just as long as the Nidalee.
Holy cow. 43 is taking this game into his own hands, but as of yet, they do have the gold lead, but it seems like they're being pressured so far into their base. Just the threat of General Vici catching someone out with a Glacial Augment, a teleport from behind. General Vici's looking for the flank. They're gonna try and focus down Yitlo, but the stopwatch will be used to stall. They're gonna flip him over. Yitlo's gonna go. He's alive still. He finally falls. Himana goes very low. There's the grind up from 52. General Vici in the backline hasn't been able to take out anybody, and now 52 chasing him down out the backside. There's the Rupture. The Realm Warp to try and cut off his escape path. He's running out the other way. A Rupture gonna come out once again, and that will probably mean he lives.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they don't even chunk several of these members of the Poopoo crew. 43 has now respawned, as has Inox, but they're going to full health start melting down this Baron. Can Inox make anything happen here? I kind of doubt it. Baron already so low. Grom not going to steal it. They don't have vision. He was more of just a Hail Mary.
He waited for 43 to get here. He didn't even smite it, but they do secure it. Mega Inferno Bomb not close to catching it out. And General Vici, very important that they shoved him away because he has the feast and he might have been able to steal it, but not gonna get the chance.
A definitely botched engage there. The teleport, very obvious. Poopoo crew sees that, immediately jumps onto Yitlo off the other side. Hamada, as he tries to go for the engage, he gets CC'd as well and almost dies before hitting even anybody with his ultimate. Just a very rough fight for GSM there. Definitely going to set them back a bit. That Baron buff will be something tough to deal with. It is currently on all 5 members of the enemy team.
Yeah, 3,000 gold lead for the Poopoo crew. Matters a little bit less as the game continues. Mega Inferno Bomb going to be used to clear out the minion wave in the bottom lane and try and get that shoving for him. 78 slowed up, sidesteps away from the rupture, and that phase rush is just so powerful.
Yeah, just completely ignoring, oh, not completely, almost ignoring slows. Whoa, decent chunk onto Paige there. A stray Ziggs bomb going to land. Those definitely hurt. They really need to avoid those. Another self.
You're under sidesteps away from Himana, who will take a little bit of damage for his trouble, but the Guardian Shield nullifying a lot of it. There's a control ward being thrown down. Javelin toss is just over the wall, and 43 is going to do his best to be annoying. Javelin toss close to hitting Rito Torchic there. Got the Guardian Angel. Satchel Charge going to be used. That Satchel Charge is big. That is a really important field tool. Mega Inferno Bomb going to come down. 78 going to take a little bit of damage, but 09 is the one who takes the brunt of it. But he's going to be able to heal up. He's got that Sona ready to press W on him. The Rupture's not going to connect.
Shocking spears. GSM doing everything they can to avoid.
There we go, looking for it. The Glacial Augment's not going to connect. The Javelin Toss is over the wall, just continuing to keep GSM on their toes.
Oh, man. Things looking sticky here in the mid lane, but they are able to defend the mid.
For Paige, a good chunk of damage with the Satchel Charge being used. Now here's the Predator being popped by King Yitlo, but 78 turns around and says, "Come at me."
Yeah, Urgot isn't here, neither is Nidalee, and they still can't seem to find the engage. Himana, whether it's on Himana or on PPC, Himana has had a very hard time landing successful engages. He has consistently been just a little short on the dashes, and
78 is going to find King Yitlo here. Going to put down a little bit of damage. There's the stopwatch, and 52 coming around for the flank Satchel Charge. Nice body slam over the wall. 52 did not cover that escape pass, but 43 is here looking for the Javelin Tosses. There's the Twin Shadows. The Rush not going to connect, and here comes Himana. He gets the knockup, and they're going to throw in the Mega Inferno Bomb. Everything is thrown at 78. The Crescendo comes at too slow to save the mid laner. Now 43 just approaching still. Just throwing out those Javelin Tosses, doing as much damage as possible. A good chunk goes on to Himana. Rito Torchic coming around the side.
Yeah, and really nice Zhonya's from Meatloaf there will help them turn that fight around. Nice response time from GSM. Able to pick up the kill onto 78, but even with him member down for almost a minute, what can they do with it? Baron is not on the table, neither is Elder Drake for some time, and PPC immediately retreats as they know they're at a numbers disadvantage.
Yeah, Elder Dragon spawning in about a minute and a half. We'll see if that's what is in the minds of these two teams. Surely it is for the side of GSM. They've got 3 dragons to empower it. Oh, okay. I think he's calming down a little bit as both teams sort of take some time to repel, spend some of the hard-earned gold.
Rito Torchic gonna pick up that red Drake. All members on both teams are now alive. There's an exposed inhibitor there in the mid lane off of GSM's pretty momentous swing earlier in the game, but ever since that swing they have been somewhat trailing. Baron buff has now expired.
The Executioner's calling for Rito Torchic. Pretty nice to nullify the Nidalee and the Sona a little bit if those heals were to come out during a team fight.
Dragon will be spawning soon. 3 dragons for GSM definitely means that they're interested in this Elder Drake. I mean, of course, PPC is too, but GSM has a little more.
Javelin Toss going to connect on the General VG that will spot him out. Satchel Charge going to go out on the 43. Javelin Toss is just continuing. This is a really rough corridor to try and evade those javelins, but somehow GSM managed to do so, and now they're trying to look for the flank on the other side. Now it looks like Poopoo Crew are a little bit split. 43 off to the side over the Dragon Pit, but he's able to just pounce over and rejoin his team if he wants to.
Both teams battling, tossing skill shots at each other while in the midst of a vision war. It looks like GSM does have a little bit of priority there, slowly pushing forward, putting pink wards behind them.
Forward. There's a Rupture going to connect onto
Inox is going for the inhibitor.
Oh, you're right. He is. He does have that passive from the Ziggs to try and take that down faster. And yeah, I think it's a little bit too slow response from the side of the Poopoo Crew. They have to commit to this this Elder Dragon, or no, they have to go back because Inox can end the game with the Satchel Charge. The tower goes down. Mega Inferno Bomb is going to be thrown down onto the minion wave. 43 and 78 going to try and get onto him. The execute's not there. The Javelin is blocked by Heat Low. 78 going very low. Stares the brace pop. General VP's very low, but he gets the stone plate. Here comes the tower's down. And GSM, they're just trying to end the game here. 43 takes down General VP. 78 doing what damage he can. There's the crescendo. And it's not going to be enough. The Nexus survives.
The Nexus survives. PPC gets back in time. They left Kaisa behind. Kaisa did not join them. Kaisa stayed behind to get that Elder Drake, and that definitely helped them out there. And they now get the ace, but their base is completely exposed. I do think that they'll be able to get the Baron off of that. I don't think they'll be able to get hardly any towers.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Well,
this
maybe
game's
Kaisa
got
pushing
so much
bot.
more interesting. A huge lead for Poopoo Crew for such a long time, but all of a sudden, like we were just talking about, they've had the gold lead this whole time, but it feels like the pressure has been on them. And GSM, they lose all 5 members, but it's an open Nexus.
Nexus is open, but double epic buff on the enemy team. They will lose a little bit here in the bot lane. They don't have any minions in the mid lane, especially. They don't have any in the top lane. Kai'Sa's gonna shove up after that Elder Drake to get at least 1 tower. Whew. Interesting game. Definitely interesting
You
game.
have to be so careful. The Ziggs has teleport, and like we said, he does a lot of damage to structures.
Yeah, if he can get onto the Nexus somehow without anybody stopping him, it will only take, probably 2 passive procs for him to kill the Nexus. PPC was smart and or lucky. Enox went down before they got onto the Nexus, so he did not, have that structure damage from his passive to help him help their team kill it.
I don't think that the Poopoo Crew can leave their base until their inhibitor respawns.
Ziggs also went for the teleport, so he does have teleport available. And as you see, after they shove out, they quickly run back to the mid lane. If anybody
he got Lichbane. He got Lichbane. He's doing it. He's going for it.
He gets Lichbane. Lichbane builds out of Sheen, the movement speed AP item, and anything else, or just that?
I think it does it also have a blasting wand as its a component?
I don't know. I was wondering if he sold the blasting wand, deciding to go for Lichbane after that turn of events. But if it has a blasting wand as a component, then he was indeed building Lichbane.
Yes, it has all 3 of those components.
All right, cool. So he was planning for that. He finishes it. If his team can sneak a ward into the base and distracts Poopoo Crew long enough, there's a chance that Inox could 2-shot the base. If he just does 2 cycles of ability, 2 Lichbane procs, his natural AP, and 2 passive procs should be enough to kill the Nexus.
General VG is starting to get tanky. The Javelin's doing less and less to him. But as we hit these level 18 marks, the Nidalee's effectiveness falls significantly.
Right, Baron buff is ticking away. They don't have much longer on the Baron buff. They have lost the Elder Drake. Those objectives don't spawn for a very long time. I'll be interested to see if GSM is content to just stall, or if they do try to look to go after that open Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, the Elder Dragon is gone for the Poopoo Crew. They lost their opportunity to fight with that advantage in their favor. So now they are very hard-pressed to find a way back into this game, because even if they win the 5v4 and Ziggs gets into the base, they lose the game.
Oh, goodness. All right. We're at a point where everything's on the line. If PPC loses a fight in terms of members hard enough, that is just simply the game, especially if Ziggs is a survivor for GSM. And if a Baron buff goes over, that also very well could be the game. So PPC, if they could, ace and have a decent minion wave, they could very well win the game too. We are at the 41-minute mark. A lot rides on the next team fight if one indeed breaks out.
And I'm interested to see how, with this knowledge of how vulnerable the base is, if GSM tries something cheeky in terms of their map play.
They haven't sent anybody deep to put down a ward or anything like that. Nor do they really have a person who's good at that. If you had like a Kane, right, you could just slip your way through some walls, get in and out really quickly. But they don't exactly have a member that is capable of that.
Mana looking for the engage that could end the match for GSM. The bomb is just coming down. Actually does connect onto somebody, but the Sona late game is so powerful. The inhibitor has respawned and the Poopoo are feeling a lot better about their push, but 0-9 taking a big chunk of damage, and now 43 actually is about to take down General Vici if he has enough time to do so, but he's gonna have to back away here. Rupture not gonna connect, and Himana was on the way down.
We might see a fight break out here in the
There we go,
middle.
the satchel charge coming down, and Paige is just keeping the members of her team topped off. Again, Sona so powerful come late game as far as supports go. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb, does a fair bit of damage to 78 and 0-9, but again, the Aria of Perseverance coming out of this Sona will just be able to top him back up. 43 shields himself back up. There's the Predator. Body slam flash! 43 gonna flash away, but the explosive gas knocks him back into Genovi. The beast connects! And that's gonna be Poopoo Crew losing their members. There's Himana going in, and now they're gonna take the fight. The crescendo comes out, a teleport for Genovi on the backside. There's the flash forward. He does go into GA. 0-9 flashes away the body slam. He's gonna kill her instinct. Gets a big shield. Reno Torchic going very low. 0-9.
They kill each other.
80 carries are down. 78 is wreaking havoc on the other members of GSM. Sona just keeping him nice and safe.
If I'm not mistaken, Himana and the members of GSM engaged in a 3v4 just there?
They're going for the Elder.
They're going for the Elder. Rise is going to be melting this down very quickly. Sona will keep him topped off. Ziggs does have the ultimate available. I don't know if he realizes that this is even happening. And they get their second Elder Dragon of the game. That's a lot of true damage.
Yeah, it's only on 2 members though, so it's not quite as bad for GSM. And they didn't, most importantly, they didn't actually get anything off of that team fight.
Whew. Wow, alright, so I thought they were maybe just going to let that tower go, back off, regroup with Nidalee being down and press for objectives, but GSM kind of jumps the gun, pulls the trigger a little bit early. Himana jumps in, his teammates back him up, but they have a numbers disadvantage at the beginning of that fight. Himana does go into a stopwatch, I believe, but he still quickly goes down after the fact.
Oh wow, they're gonna start at the Baron, and they have Elder Dragon just making it so that they take it that much faster, and this is a late game Rise with a late game Sona, but they're gonna back away from it. 43 just trying to land some poke before the fight starts, and that's one onto Himana, I believe. Yeah, there's another Javelin coming out. They're gonna try and use Fog before as best they can. Up here. Yeah, they're split up. That means that Poopoo Crew might have priority on mid lane.
Spear.
Yeah, Rito Torchic gets chunked super low. He doesn't have a Guardian Angel. He does have some lifesteal, but I don't think he's gonna get the opportunity.
Oh my god!
Enoch is dead! What? A Javelin toss from downtown means that there's no more wave clear available for the members of GSM.
Alright, that's very possibly gonna be the game. Another spear lands. These are absolutely devastating.
There's the feathers coming down. They need to be careful. Himana goes in. That's a big quickness. Rito Torchic gets crescendoed immediately. There's the feather storm. The rupture comes out. 0-9 goes deep. A Javelin will take one more down. Himana goes down. Rito Torchic follows. 52 executes him. And there's the second Nexus Tower being focused on by the Poopoo Crew. We're going to game 3 in this Diamond Cap final.
Wow, and what a nuts end to the game. We see one spear land on to Rito Torchic, chunking him. We see another spear land onto Inox, chunking him. And then we see yet another spear, 3 in a row, or just about, to hit Inox a second time. 2 long-range spears is all that is needed to pick off Ziggs. With him dead, a big source of their damage, and their wave clear goes down. Rito Torchic still chunked, and with that numbers disadvantage in their base, with the Elder Dragon buff still live, at least towards the beginning of that fight, we see Poopoo Crew take the win, and this series is going to 3.
Nidalee did 40,000 damage to champions that game. Absolutely ridiculous. That was quite possibly one of the most entertaining games that we've seen in a GRLCS final, and it's not over yet. We've got one more game between these two teams to see who takes it all here in GRLCS fall. We'll see you in just a bit.
All right, be right back.
to the wild, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment, now is your time. So prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Welcome to the climb up, reach for the summit. Visions brave, the one falls, steadily the end. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your blood, go and take it. This is your moment. Take to the skies, go. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. It is you fight among the dead beneath the dirt. Or do you know yet? Or do you want it? And when the giants call to ask you what you're worth, do you know yet? We don't doubt you. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Pick up your weapon and face it.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, they'll ride into smoke when the fire is fierce. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die.
All right, and we are back with Game 3 of GSM versus the Poopoo crew. They are currently 1-1 in this series. The winner of this game takes it all for Diamond Division. I am Jack Loves Lamp, and with me is Agent A2.
Yeah, and just like the last two games, we will once again see the Poopoo crew on the blue side and GSM on the red side. This time, the Poopoo crew say, no more Zaya Rakan. They ban away the Zaya first ban. It's been super effective for GSM. But unfortunately for GSM, they were not able to pull out the victory in game number 2. It was so close. Maybe 3 or 4 autos onto the Poopoo Crew Nexus, but they could not close it out. Both of the high priority AD carries going away through the bans.
Yeah, so far, exclusively AD carry bans to this point. I'm going to keep Zaya and Kaisa out of the mix. We're going to see the Tarek ban once again. They know that a lot of Poopoo Crew's funnel strats that they like to do and some of their cheeky lanes rely on that Tarek pick. By banning that, they can help to, shut it down. Still potential for some other funnel comps, but those are some of the key elements, and they're going to continue to ban those away.
And again, the first pick Rise that has been the option for the Poopoo Crew every single game. They're not handing over the Zyrakan this time, but they will continue to get that high priority mid laner.
Yeah. In the process, they did leave the LeBlanc up, which they've banned several times. They did leave the Kale up, but we're not going to see any of that get picked. We're going to see the Caitlyn get locked in first. Kale, still available. I don't know if the members of the Poopoo Group play it.
Really interesting to see the Caitlyn come out for Rito Torchic, but it is probably the safest blind pick AD carry here. You don't know what you're up against on the side of the Poopoo Crew, so if you want to lock that in, might as well. There's the Morgana, pairs very nicely with the Caitlyn, barely safe bottom lane. It's not going to lose very many matchups.
Yeah, and we've seen Hamana and Rito Torchic do well with the combo before. Rito Torchic is very good at chaining CC into traps.
And there's the Ezreal for the Poopoo Crew. That will be their choice. They had the option to pick up the Sivir that I know that they've had success with, but instead they want the Ezreal. They want something that will be able to more easily dodge out of those Morgana bindings as opposed to spell shielding them and having the opportunity to have the spell shield blocked. But they're going to get the Elise as well. Once again, a very aggressive early game jungler, but doesn't have the potential to... Well, I mean, it does, but it's not like the Nidalee that we saw last game that they just absolutely dominated on. The Kassadin will go once again. It did very well for Inox in game number 1. GSM will lock it in.
All right, so we see Caitlyn, we see Morgana, and we see Kassadin for GSM. Not on the Zyrakan this game, so shaking things up. They are going to ban away the Sona from...
Yeah, Sona Ezreal is kind of an annoying lane to deal with, but will we see, I expect, like, Kayle Vladimir as the 2 bans for the Poopoo Crew. It seemed like General Vici was struggling to perform on that Cho'Gath, at the very least, against the power of the Nidalee on Poopoo Crew.
Yeah, Yeatloaf definitely fell very far behind the Nidalee and had trouble at points in the game to have an impact. They're going to ban away Gangplank.
Okay, that's interesting. I don't know if we've seen General Vici on the Gangplank, but the Gangplank has been successful in Worlds, for instance. They did... never mind. No spoilers. But
Not spoiling Worlds for anybody who hasn't seen yet. And they will ban away the Trundle as a top laner. Perhaps they were going to try to pick Gangplank into a Trundle maybe, so they were trying to ban the Gangplank away. And they're going to ban the Xin Shao as well. They don't want Yeatloaf to be locking in a jungler that can compete with this Elise.
yeah, but then why leave open the Gragas that Yeatloaf is fairly comfortable on? The Gragas is open. They ban away.
He definitely fell behind the Nidalee
Yeah,
last
he fell
time.
behind, but I mean, it's a very good early game jungler. If you're gonna ban the Xin Zhao anyways, then you probably would. Okay, so you pick up the Mundo for General Vici. But I'm surprised that they prefer the ban of the Xin Zhao over the Gragas, but maybe they think, okay, 43 on Elise, you're gonna just have to abuse Yeatloaf if he does go on to the Gragas.
All right, what will the next lock-in be?
Okay, you're gonna look for the Urgot once again. 52 did have quite a good game on that Urgot. Did become the tank that his team needed, and just zoning away the entirety of the backline of GSM. And the last pick for the support will be Karma for Paige.
Gotcha. There's, maybe an off chance that this is Mundo jungle, but seems like it's more likely to the
That's
top
true.
lane.
It could be Mundo in the jungle for King Yeatloaf. in that case, we do have General Vici with his pick of the top laners. The only one banned away from him was the Gangplank, and I don't know if that's something he even really would opt for. Volibear. Okay, I was gonna say.
So it is going to be Mundo in the jungle for Yeetloaf, and Vladimir will be locked in instead of KO.
Yep.
They were both available this time. Going for the Vladimir though.
Yeah, I think the Vladimir is probably was going to be the pick, always going to be the pickup for General Vici, unless there was just some kind of hard counter to it locked in on the side of the Poopoo crew.
Mhm.
So now you do have that jungle Dr. Mundo, like you said, and we'll see how things go. This is game 3 we're about to go into, and that's a big. This is for all the marbles.
Yeah. Rise, how do you think he fares into Mundo? I mean, not assuming adaptive helm.
Rise versus Mundo. Oh, I see. I think I generally think that Rise will probably have the tools necessary to deal with Mundo.
Mhm.
Rise is just such a disgusting champion. You have the Rune Prison, you have the movement speed boost, you have Phase Rush to eliminate the slows from any cleavers, and I just think that if Mundo tries to be getting in his face, he's just going to get kited out of control. Ezreal compounds that with his ability to poke from range and just kite out with the essence or the Mystic Shot and the Arcane
Yeah.
Shift. I think Mundo will be very hard pressed to have an impact on this game, and without the help of a Dark Binding landing or a very good flank from General Vici's Vladimir.
Yeah, and GSM has, even though they've been red side every single game, they've left Rise up every single time. They've opted to ban. I understand wanting to ban Tarek against the Poopoo crew, but they have also opted to ban both Draven and Yasuo every time as well. And I understand that 09 is very effective on the Draven, but at some point you might question, is it easier to deal with Draven as a champion than Rise, even if the Draven would be a little more effective on 09 than the Rise is on
Sure,
78?
yeah. And I think, you think GSM has probably made these balancing acts and said we'd rather deal with the Rise than the Draven. And I think that it is a matter of what do they value more. I think they value very heavily the ability of their bottom lane to get ahead. That is where a lot of their power comes from as a team. Not all of it, obviously. They've got strong players in every position, as does the Poopoo crew, but
Mhm.
I think that they very much like to play around that bottom lane. You saw both teleports come into the bottom lane at the very beginning of that last game and start up the fiesta that was game number 2.
And a fiesta it was. Whew, very back and forth until the final moments. Almost a quick jab at the Nexus to get the win. It barely fell short. And then what ended up deciding the game was almost equally cheesy. A series of well-placed Nidalee Spears that Rito Torchic and Inox were unable to juke away from. And that, lapse in focus and not juking away from those spears there resulted in GSM losing that game. Not to mention that the Nidalee was incredibly fed, but
Yeah, not only that, but I think that this is a matchup that Yeetloaf has picked himself into, the Mundo versus the Elise. The Mundo is such a easy champion to take advantage of in the early game before he gets tanky. The Elise is gonna find him, land a cocoon. He has no mobility. All he has is a slow and maybe a move speed boost, but that's only after level 6. If the Elise finds the Mundo's using his health bar to clear the jungle camps. And yeah, you get your cleaver health refunded when you hit it, but that's beside the point. You're
man, I'm really excited. Here we are, about to go into this game, the last finals match of GRLCS Fall 2019. There are some third place matches to be held later this week. But as far as our main programming this weekend, this is the final match. Really excited to see how this goes down.
and it's been an excellent split this fall. Just so many strong teams coming out for both conferences in Diamond, and this has been one entertaining series.
Whew. Had to shed the jacket. Getting awful toasty in here. Heart starting to race.
All right, so on the blue side, representing the Imperial District. It is the Poopoo crew with 52 in the top lane on Urgot, 43 in the jungle on Elise, 78 in the mid lane on Rise for the third time this series, and in the bottom lane it's 09 and Paige on Ezreal Karma.
Whew. Man. All right, over on the red side for the third time this series as well, we've got GSM, General Vici back on the Vladimir in the top lane, Yeetloaf on the Mundo in the jungle, Inox in the mid lane on Cassidy once again, and in the bot lane for the first time this series, we've got Caitlyn and Morgana for Rito Torchic and Hamana.
We'll see. They styled on 09 and Paige in game number 1 on Zyra Khan. It didn't quite go their way in game number 2 with those two same champions, and now what will they do with Caitlyn Morgana? A lot less just sheer laning power, the ability to just kill the enemy lane, but very good and also, you know, comparable-ish in the late game. There's a reason why Xayah is so valued as an AD carry, but Caitlyn will still do well, and a Morgana pick will, you know, can end games.
Yeah. Whew. We'll have to see how 09 and Paige do this game in the bot lane, considering they were just juke masters last game. Hamana was hardly able to land any CC. This time around, though, he'll be on the Morgana, and we'll see if 09 and Paige's ability to juke can hold up.
Okay, let's see how this goes. They've actually have done the lane swap, so 78 is going to be the one in the mid or the top lane matching up against General Vici's Vladimir, where the Urgot will match up against Inox's Cassidy.
Yeah, and honestly, that kind of makes sense. 78 had trouble with Inox's Cassidy once he started hitting that mid game, the first game this series. And so we're going to see this time around 78 going to be picking the Rise and taking it up to match up against the Vladimir. We'll have to see how it pans out, but I imagine
level 2 is going to be hit here. Paige gets hit by a Dark Binding, builds over Peacemaker, and the Flash will be burned by Paige, as well as the heal from 09, as traded for the Ignite of Hamana.
Ooh, and Flash and heal go down for the Poopoo crew at the cost of Ignite for Hamana. Definitely a worthwhile trade. We're going to have to see. They were adjusted to, and Rito Torchic was just barely not in range to chain a trap. But had he been able to, Paige maybe wouldn't have died, but it would have been much closer.
Yeah, here we go. Here's the gank from 43. Cocoon is not going to land on the General Vici, but he doesn't have Pool. He didn't take Pool at level 2. First blood goes to 78 on Rise.
He took Tides of Blood at level 2, and as a result, that early gank from 43 will result in a kill. 78 flashes forward, chucks out that final Q, and will find the kill. And we're going to see Vladimir teleport back up to the top lane. Elise taking those Krugs. We'll be interested to see if they go for a dive. Elise is particularly good at those.
Yeah, and what a great play from
like
43. He's going to do it again. Cocoon doesn't land, and General Vici is 3 this time, so he does have the Pool now. Unless he took Hemo Plague level 2. Not expecting a repeat game. But yeah, really great play from 43. He said, this guy's going to take Tides of Blood level 2. I'm going to be able to gank him. Even if he flashes, we'll just follow. Oh, Dark Binding is going to connect into the trap, and the Pilgrim Peacemaker, but Hamana's the one who has to flash out of there.
Yeah, Paige and 09 just chucking abilities at Hamana. When you're Morgana, you know, you kind of got to step a little bit around the minion
Dark
wave.
Binding connects, build over Peacemaker. The shield is enough, and Rito Torture cannot chain in the trap. I think he thought that would kill, and he takes a tower shot for his troubles. Now 09 doing the damage. Summoner heal comes out, brought on to save Hamana, and the headshot takes out 09.
Mundo runs around the
Paige
backside.
died.
Yeah, Mundo runs around the backside, hits Paige with one cleaver, and picks up the kill.
Oh my goodness. All right, so now it's 2-1 in favor of GSM. Top side going the way of Poopoo crew, but on the bottom side, very much in favor of GSM.
What a Mundo gank. Can just walk up right when somebody's incredibly low, step around the corner.
There's a gank on the 52. He's not going to get, or he is actually slowed up by Yeetloaf, but he's able to dash back towards his tower. General Vici having a rough time in this lane up against 78.
All right, really good start for Mundo. That extra gold will be fantastic. He got the kills whereas Elise had just gotten the assist. He needs to get that full jungle item to really speed up his clear, though.
Yeah, and look at that, 78 just unloading damage onto General Vici with those overload procs. He did take a few tower shots though, so now he's at half HP, but things are going well. It seems like 78 is very much dictating the lane over General Vici. Here we go, there's a slow onto Inox, not gonna get the flip over. 52 is going to abuse the range advantage he has over this Kassadin.
Yeah, Inox has managed to stay slightly ahead in CS so far, but he's definitely taken a hit to his mana bar and health bar as a result. So he will eventually have to back. Yep, backing now. That lane swap was a pretty smart idea from Poopoo, but it appears that Vladimir is still heading back towards the top side. They're going to be sticking with it.
Yeah, and actually Inox going to burn his teleport into the mid lane, so that will be... Well, actually, both of the Poopoo solo laners have also burned their teleports, so no potential teleport plays coming out in which one team will have an advantage anytime soon.
Alright, we see a tiny gold lead in favor of GSM at the moment.
Colonel Drake goes the way of Poopoo crew.
Yeah, and that's not good to let something so important slip like that. They're not able to get a ward on it. Mundo not contesting it. Elise going to solo that one. And the gold is even despite GSM being up a kill.
Yeah, which is surprising considering not only that, but 0-9 is falling behind in terms of CS numbers compared to Rito Torchic by quite a bit.
Yeah, but so is Vici up in the top lane, partly because of that gank and partly because of the pressure 78's exerting.
Oh, here goes Dark Binding, gonna connect onto him, and that's a lot of damage onto Paige. Just so many headshots from the chat, from the 90 caliber net. But Summoner Heal will be expended to keep Paige alive. I think that Paige should probably back away here. One more stray binding, or potentially the roam coming out of Inox might have been the death of her. Yeah, 40 looking for a lane gank off to the side here.
That ward, if he steps forward, will give away.
Catch sight of him, but Himana's coming forward looking for the binding flash cocoon, and that's gonna be enough damage. Himana goes down. A brilliant lane gank from 43.
Yeah, Hamada definitely not expecting that, was surprised, was not able to throw down the black shield quick enough, as I'm sure pretty much nobody would be able to, not nobody, but is unlikely to be able to do, and he will go down as a result. Nice lane gank from 43.
Yeah, that flash cocoon, so hard to have the reaction speed. Now, Inox has hit his level 6, so he feels a lot better going in up against 52. But wow, 78 is just destroying General Vici right now.
Ooh, his Qs are keeping him somewhat in this lane, but for how long? Mundo is looking top. Elise is currently taking the blue buff. Can they make something happen on 78 here before Elise?
Oh, here we go. The Emo Plague has been thrown down. He dodges with the Sanguine Pool. 78 gonna turn around some damage, trying to get a Realm Warp out of there. He's gonna burn down with the red smite, but he is going to live. No flash burned by 78. Really nice job.
Really nice escape tool he has there against two champions without any hard CC. All they can do is try to burn him down, and if they, overcommit and stand a little bit too close when their health bars aren't super high, that might just set them up to be comboed, so they have to be careful. They can't just willy-nilly rush to burn down 78.
Okay, so kill not going the way of GSM off of that gank in the top lane. 52 now starting to feel the pressure. Cocoon dodged by the Sanguine Pool from General Vici.
If you play Morgana, you should just make a macro that is like your, what button is it you hold when you select an ability that can self-cast? Alt, yes. You just gotta make Alt-W a macro, and you'll be able to get those. Alt-E, sorry, yes, black shields on the E. But you just need to make a macro, right? Just self-cast those black shields uber fast.
You can, I mean, if you just position your hand, it's very easy to just have the E or your thumb on the Alt key all the time.
Oh, I know. For me, I would appreciate the macro. One button is easier than two buttons.
Like if I play like Karma, for instance, I have my thumb basically always on the Alt key.
I usually have mine on the space bar because I like to move it around and snap back to myself. But it is right next to the Alt key.
When I move the camera, I just, use exclusively the mouse because I never learned that the spacebar did that until I was already used to it by muscle.
All right, so we see Cassidy building up a CS lead here in the mid lane, but we see General Vici falling way behind 78 in the top lane.
Okay, here Dark Binding once again connects onto Paige. It seems like Himana has Paige's number, but unfortunately they don't quite have the lead necessary to take him out consistently.
Yeah, they hit the bindings, but by running up to approach, Himana puts himself in the line of fire of Paige's abilities and Ezreal's abilities. Gotta stay behind those minions to avoid those skill shot cues from Ezreal and Karma.
So 0-9 and Paige now feeling very much in control of this bottom lane. Rito, Torchic, and Himana are playing so far back. 43's presence is a looming threat, even though he's now been spotted. Cocoon gonna connect onto Yeetlo, but he's gonna pop the ultimate. That's a lot of damage, and there's some damage. Yeetlo going very low, but now in the bottom lane, Rito Torchic almost takes that 0-9. Yeetlo flashing over the wall, and there's Enoch picking up the kill. In the bottom lane, it definitely went it actually has gone even thus far. Both 80 carries going down, and 52 taking out Enox in exchange for 43's life. General Vici throws on the Hemoplay. General Vici pops the stopwatch. There's the Dark Binding. Himana almost gets tethered up.
Ooh,
Support combat.
The supports almost kill each other in the bot lane. The 80 carries both end up going down there. In that mid lane fight, we see Inox pick up a kill on Elise.
So careful there. Oh! 78 just walks up and takes him down.
Man.
General Vici, no respect for 78's damage. He just gets solo kills.
And it looks like they're finally going to respond.
Oh, teleport from Inox. Yeah, they're gonna try and realm warp him out of there.
Can he Q him in time? He cannot.
No.
But he was heading to top lane anyway. He just now is there a little bit quicker, but unable to find the rise there. But yeah, no, it looks like at the moment they sent Cassidy back to top, and if you look there on the mini map, you'll see that Urgot is also now rotating.
Junglers are gonna find each other on the mountain. Drake 43 is already taking this one up, dodges away from the first cleaver. Rito Torchic now coming up, 0-9 trying to zone him away, but the Caitlyn will win the auto attack war against the Ezreal with those headshots. Now Cocoon gonna land onto the Mundo. Mystic shots coming down. They're gonna try and help over the wall. Here's 78 here to back up his jungler, and it will be a Mountain Drake, a second dragon of the game, going over to the Poopoo crew.
Yes, I believe that the root was on cooldown for General Vici. 78 was really pressuring him in that lane, and the Fool spent a lot of time on cooldown. Vici had to keep using it to avoid it, getting nuked by combos.
Yeah, and here we go. Here's Inox back into the mid lane, coming up to support General Vici, whose Sanguine Fools has to dodge away from 78's damage, and 78 is just looking for a quicker way back to lane because he feels unthreatened by anyone right now.
Yeah, and it looks like GSM is really trying to...
Oh no, 43 is gonna try and look for the exit. No, he's trying to repel over the side, get onto the wall. No, he goes for King Elo, and he finishes the job. There's a 1-for-1.
Yeah, ends up being a 1-for-1 there. Elise picks up another kill, but so does Inox. I don't think it's worth it to take trades where Cassidy gets kills after we saw game 1.
Falls off super hard. Cassidy just continuing to get that insane scaling, and he's opted not for the Tear of the Goddess this game, actually, on this Cassidy.
General Vici is here against a huge wave of minions. 52 is gonna ignore him.
52 gonna get claim tower first blood for the Poopoo crew. Goes 0-9, taking a bit of harass from Rito Torchic. Now 78 gonna stealing away the red buff, and now he's gonna get jumped up by Inox. And here comes General Vici from the top side of the map. He's gonna flash over, get the blast going at the safety. Inox potentially gonna continue the chase. No, 52 here, ready to support his mid laner.
Oh boy, alright, so we've got a pretty substantial gold lead, getting close to 2.5k in favor of the Poopoo crew. They have that first tower, their rise is looking really strong this game. They decided to match him up this time around, up in the top lane. Mundo was the pick this game, not the most threatening of junglers when it comes to ganks, so Rise was relatively safe up there in that matchup. Elise kept coming top. kept ganking Vladimir, and once he started to fall just a little bit behind, 78 was able to bully the crap out of that
Here we go.
Vladimir.
Inox is only level 10, so he doesn't have that level 2 Rift Walk, but he does have a King Yeetlove in his back pocket. 43 is too busy doing the Rift Heralds. He's not coming to... Now he is. He's got 52 as well. Teleport coming in from General Vici, so this will be the 3v3. And now there's a Hemoplague onto 2. They repel into the air. They're going to turn onto Inox, and Inox tries to go for the Elise. 52 now is the focus. He's going to go in, and he is going to be taken down. Inox picks up the 3rd kill.
All right, kill for the Rift Herald. But you know, if they can turn that Rift Herald into a turret, it will be worth, but only if they are able to do that.
Ooh, 2.1k gold lead for the Poopoo crew, but I think that this is mostly okay for GSM. They're definitely playing a bit of the scaling game. Caitlyn will outscale the Ezreal. Kassadin scales barely. Oh, hold on a second. Dark Fighting gonna connect, and there's the headshot from galore onto Paige. Himana gets the kill with the Tormented Soil, I assume. Here's the ace in the hole. 0-9 gonna be a second kill, and they flash away. 52 looking for a kill. He does have the ultimate, but he doesn't have the damage necessary to break the threshold.
While he did, the Rift Herald will be activated in the bot lane.
Yeah, in the bottom lane. They've got their jungler and their top laner here, and it looks like Himana and Rito Torchic are a little too low, a little bit too low on resources to contest this one. The Rift Herald's gonna get a charge off, but I don't think it's gonna be enough to take out this tower. Yeah, I think that
I'm sorry, I'm kind of taking a breather
all
here.
of the members of GSM will scale about equally or better than their counterparts. The Hyper Tank Mundo definitely will beat the Elise, which falls off in the late game. Elise basically just becomes a cocoon bot at that point.
Ryze will eventually be able to deal with the late game Mundo, but that adapter
But
helm
he's got to
will
deal
be
with the
slowing it
Kassadin
down.
and the Vladimir.
Oh
So-
yeah. Just because he can melt down a Mundo over time, doesn't mean it's not a waste of time when he's got a scaling Vladimir and Kassadin to worry about.
All right, so they've closed the gold lead, though. It is only 1,500 gold in favor of the Poopoo crew, building towards that Trinity Force for 0-9's Ezreal, whereas Rito Torchic has already finished off Infinity Edge Rapid Fire Cannon. This is very scary Caitlyn come this point in the game.
Oh yeah, and we have definitely noticed that Paige has been a binding magnet. Hamana, while he was unable to land very many con knockouts in last game, he definitely has the opposing laner's number this game.
Oh, General Vici forced to Sanguine Pool. 52 backing away now. A little bit of Hextech Revolver damage. Dark Binding gonna go wide. 0-9 now playing forward. He's got 43 in his back pocket. Inox is here, gonna essentially jump in onto 78. Gonna get Rune prisoned up and lose about half of his HP.
Ooh.
Got King Yeetlove in the area. The Cleaver gonna connect. It does a fair chunk of damage now.
This Mountain Drake is going down in favor of the Poopoo crew. This will be their 3rd dragon of the game.
Yeah, Dark Binding gonna connect. There's the Monster E, and it will just mean that they're able to back away. Not a whole lot of engage power for the side of GSM compared to the last 2 games where they had the Recon.
Yeah, Elise definitely still making her mark on this earlier stage of the game, but going to slowly. Oh,
43 gonna get jumped down over the wall. There's a slow, there's the silence. There we go. Cleaver gonna go wide, and here comes Ryze to back him up. Yeetlove cannot weave those cleavers in between the spiderlings. There's the True Shot Barrage. Not gonna find a target either.
Yeah, Yeetlove will be burning that ultimate.
Here we
Doesn't
go.
really
You've
get
got
much.
General Vici coming around the side. Not gonna find an angle, and he'll just realm more back towards his tower. Dark Binding connects. There's Paige, throws the Monster Q out onto Himana. Flash forward. He's gonna stopwatch after the Soul Shackles, and Paige is not able to finish the job. So much damage coming out of Rito Torchic, but now 78 trying to get onto Inox. Pounds over. Beastmaker takes out 0-9. Oh man.
Man, and Inox almost goes down in the mid lane to 78. He's gonna have to be careful. Ryze,
They're just
despite
gonna force this tower. That's the second tower of the game going over to the side of the Poopoo crew.
Rito Torchic and Himana still doing well in this bot lane, but they're going to need to get out to help the team a little bit soon. This Ryze is proving to be very hard to deal with. Inox almost going down. He took a pretty rough trade going for a ward a little while ago, and then after getting chunked by that trade, Rise was able to walk up and almost kill him. Vici had to run down and intervene to keep the enemy from chasing much farther.
All right, so I lied. He did Inox did actually go for the Tear of the Goddess into this Archangel staff. He was just getting the Rod of Ages burn earlier.
Teleport behind
before
52.
And he teleported behind 52. Now he's gonna try and keep on him. He's taking a lot of damage there. Whoa! He gets him! There's the kill! Not interrupted this time. The AoE Fear is gonna come through, but it's not gonna save his life. He trades 1-for-1. Now 78 in the middle. He's gonna get blocked up by the minions from killing off Yeetlove, who flashes away. Gets a big shield from the Seraph's Embrace and will eat the ace in the hole for it.
Wow, Inox, as scary as he was in game 1, having a little bit of a rough time. He hasn't finished that Seraph yet.
Cocoon has connected on General Vici. That's a big chunk of damage as he goes into the pool. 0-9, not able to follow up. Yeetlove regenning with his ultimate, now coming from behind. 0-9, Dark Binding doesn't find a target. 0-9, they finish off that tower in the mid lane. 3 towers to 0 now, and they will make it out.
GSM clearly needs to do some more scaling before they're going to
Binding is gonna connect, and that's gonna be 78, taking a lot of damage. He killed Himana! He trades 1-for-1 as well. Rito Torching picks up his 4th kill of the game, but at what cost?
Yeah, Hamana throwing his life away, running into the Fed Rise. I say Fed because he does have 226 CS. Runs into the Fed Rise, he does go down. Didn't have Zanya's available at the time of doing that. Has purchased it now after that death, but was able to get yet another kill for Rito Torching.
But he tells over to the blast cone. We'll get back towards the tower, but you might see Paige finding Inox.
Yeah, I wonder what the alternate timeline looks like where GSM was banning Rise this whole series. I don't know if it makes things substantially better, or if there was some other pick that was just as good, or if there was 3 different funnel games from PPC. But Rise has been available for them all 3 games. Has been quite the pick.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think it's a tough call. The first 3 bans from GSM this entire series have been Draven, Yasuo, and Taric. And we talked about the swap out for the Draven versus the Rise, and I think that they made the conscious decision. They cared more about the Draven ban than the Rise ban. The Yasuo and the Taric, that's eliminates stability for their funnel strats, and also that is a propensity for Poopoo Crew's bottom lane, which I think this whole thing is just an issue of GSM valuing their bottom lane more than they care about the mid lane priority in the form of giving over that Rise. We'll see if it pays off. The game isn't over yet.
43 will, those cocoons, they stay effective, but overall at least becoming a little bit harder to make work as the game goes on. Not quite as good at team fights as some other champions.
52 gonna come forward looking for General Vici, and he definitely wins out on the trade, especially once that Conqueror gets procced. Adaptive Helm will also do wonders in nullifying a lot of General Vici's damage. Now they're gonna look for Inox. 78 just putting down some damage. True Shot Rush.
Maybe they thought that Inox was going to go for the fight, trying to jump in onto 78 perhaps, but he does back away, and they're going to try to bait a bush here. It's not going to work. They're going to move forward and start clearing out some bits.
The Baron has been started. They've got 2 Mountain Drakes, and I think they know, yeah, the GSM drop a control ward. It was a good try. They're nothing committed by the Poopoo Crew there. They're just saying, hey, if they never headshot, static shift though will be a big chunk of damage. But essentially, the Poopoo Crew are like, if they don't check, whoa, 78 just kills Himana over the wall in front of his teammates.
Yeah, there was a ward down. He sees him running. He gets the root. Hamana throws down the black shield. Too little, too late. Already CC'd and unable to survive against that Rise damage. Just a squishy mage, enchanter side rage support.
On to 0-9. There's 43 getting a cocoon over the wall. And here's the Realm War coming in. 43 dodges into the rappel, goes in onto King Yeetlove. There's 78 on the back line. He's trying to take out King Yeetlove, and he gets him with the Morella Namakan, applying the Grievous Wound, reducing the healing. Now Rito Torture backing away. General Vici trying to come around. Oh, a headshot onto 0-9 means he has to back away now. Ace in the hole has already been used. Now, with a double Mountain Drake, I think that they're going to go for the Baron this time.
Will GSM be able to stall this game out to the point that the champions can really come online?
I don't know. With how fast the Poopoo Crew are playing, they're going to be hard pressed. But we've seen GSM do great things in this league. We'll see if they can pull it off, but this is going to be possibly their hardest task yet.
Yeah, They are currently 5,000 gold behind. That is pretty substantial at 24 minutes into the game. There are 3 dragons behind, 4 towers behind. They just need this game to drag on so that way the Vladimir, the Mundo, the Cassid, and the Caitlyn can all come a bit more online. They're all relatively good late game champions, especially in the case of those 3 solo players.
Yeah, Caitlyn and Rito Torchic just hasn't had the opportunity to free auto in these team fights where he would be so effective. His front line just is not effective enough to give him the space to do so. King Eatloaf is so far behind compared to where the damage dealers on the side of Poopoo Crew are, so he just gets melted.
Yeah, it can be a little bit tough sometimes to be the tank when you're the jungler. Don't have quite as consistent a gold income as a solo laner would.
And a 4th dragon goes the way of the Poopoo Crew.
We're gonna see GSM start to try to put some wards down in their own jungle, trying to
Dodging
keep from
around.
getting picked.
78, level 16. General Vici is level 13. 78 is 3 levels up over General Vici right now. Looking for a cocoon. He's gonna find one. No, he doesn't go for it. There we go. 78 just in the face of General Vici and Rito Torchic. General Vici coming forward. Himana is here. Flash Soul Shackles Wilmy. Oh, he pops the stopwatch. There's the Hemo Plague. General Vici too scared to get it close. Summoner Heal comes down. 78 does finally get shut down, but it cost General Vici his flash forward because he had to keep Rito Torchic alive. Ace in the hole comes down. Lands onto 43, but a shield from Page will keep him safe. King Eatloaf coming from behind. There's the cocoon. Are they going to be able to focus him down? No, because Inox is such a threat. He's going to try and jump forward, but 52 is here as well. Himana throws out a dark finding, not going to find a target. There's a kill from 52. No, he gets the black shield, so we cannot get the execute off. Eatloaf is going to go down. And there goes Himana as well. They're going to get the inhibitor on the side of the Poopoo Crew. And they have a huge advantage, the Baron buff minion. If they can finish off any other member of GSM, they might just end the game here.
52 has done a fantastic job on this Urgot, but 43 on the aggressive junglers and 78 on this Rise.
Wow, the first Nexus Tower's gone. Holy cow, here's Inox, he's doing his best, he's trying to finish them off. There's the Zanya's Hourglass from 43, throws it down, True Shot Barrage. Rito Torchic goes on a rampage as 43 will fall. A teleport coming in from 78, but the Nexus Towers are gone.
Nexus Towers are gone, and the very fed Rise is here. 52 and 09 are low, however. And it looks like they might start backing off, but the base is cracked wide open.
Yeah, backing away. Inox going to look for the chase here, but they've got 09 coming up to back him up. Eatloaf is here, and you've got eyes on 78. Rito Torchic, but they're going to look for the flank. There's some headshot damage. He flashes back away. There's a lot of slows. The silence coming down, and they are going to finally take him down. Enough from that level 14 Cassidon to take down the level 16 Rise. Now he's gonna flash forward, get onto pace. There's the slow. Looking for the tether. One more will finish the job if he can get one more wrist walk off of. Yes, he will. Page goes down.
Round up a smidge behind you. I was like, Alex is reading the future. There we go. We are a little bit caught back up there.
Okay, what's
Oh, I just fast forwarded, so we should be
7,
good. Yes, 8
8.
now. Yes,
Cool.
we're synced up again. But wow, Rise doing so much work this game. Mundo does have the Spirit Visage, however, does have 2 Null Magic Mantles. He's
Cocoon. Oh, it connects onto Inox. That's so much damage, and they're gonna get the grind on 52. Grinds up Inox, and now they're gonna continue the chase. The traps are just coming down. Himana throws out the Dark Binding, but sidestep by 52.
GSM could maybe use the investment of some QSSs that will prevent those kills. However, they are behind in gold, so they will be pressed to do that.
Yeah, Rito Torchic coming forward. He's trying to keep them away from the base as best he can because the Nexus Towers are gone. Any exposure to the Nexus for the Poopoo Crew will end the game and the series. Realm Warp coming in. He's just gonna bring in his himself and his support. There's a Dark Binding onto the Rise. There's the Mantra E. They're gonna continue the chase. Rito Torchic eats a Mystic Shot by 09, eats a headshot, and that's a little bit more important. 52 is getting destroyed by 3 members, but he caused into the stopwatch, and it's gonna be King Gecko who dies. 52 lives, gets the shield. General Vici throws on the Hemo Plague. 09 and 43 trying to finish this one off. Ace in the hole, and 09 flashes away.
They're just trying to get out of where they can.
Here's Rito Torchic flashing away from 43. Execute damage. General Vici goes under into the Sanctuary pool. They're gonna try and finish the game. Here's Inox. 78. Silence up. There's the Dark Lightning. Can they stop them from ending it? No! It's over! Poopoo Crew are your Diamond Cap champion.
Wow, and what was just a pretty back and forth last game for a little while. We saw Rito Torchic and Hamana doing very well in the bot lane. Enox was definitely doing solidly in the mid lane, but General Vici really struggling. Yeetloaf just falling behind those damage dealers, and despite building that Spirit Visage, just wasn't tanky enough. Maybe could have used some Merc Treads, but he was also worried about 52 on that Urgot, who was also doing a ton of damage. Just several threats. Their tankier targets weren't able to do enough. Their own threats were not quite as ahead. They were behind in gold for a good chunk of the game. They gave up all the dragons, and GSM will go down. Poopoo Crew takes the win.
Yeah, and what was a fairly sleeper champion for the Poopoo Crew, they first picked it every game, and in game 3 it showed up, the Rise, 7, 3, and 1. 30,000 damage. For reference, the next highest damage on his team was 15,000, and that was an Ezreal.
Yeah, I feel like leaving Rise up this series, like this throughout this series, was, it's really hard to judge, right? There's no telling how things would have played out otherwise. But I definitely think that Rise was a really big point in this entire series, and maybe they should have considered Blue Side to pick it, or considered banning it in the first round of bans a little more. But
All right, so that will be the end of the series. Poopoo Crew takes down GSM in the finals 2-1. Are we looking at the potential for an interview with the winning team, or?
Sure. I haven't been doing anything during the playoffs, but we
We've
could
done
definitely
we've done them during Gold and Platinum
today.
finals
Yes, we have.
today,
I
so
can definitely
I feel like we should
throw up a Be Right Back screen, and we can get somebody in here. So don't go anywhere. We will do that interview just a second. Let us get somebody sorted out and in the call. We'll be right back. All right, I think we successfully got 43 on Discord with us. So, can you confirm that you're here? This is working. He'll join when he cues us in. I so on my screen he is in. Oh my god. I started the call but somehow didn't join the call.
Yeah.
I don't know how I managed to do that, but that is my bad.
Yeah.
Well, I am here with Agent A2 and PP Poopoo 43. Twitch chat was asking for you. You had some pretty awesome performances in there. How are you feeling about this series coming into it?
Coming into it,
Yeah.
I thought it would be fine.
Mhm.
I was a little worried about Inon. I figured if we could sort of just keep him under control, which I think we failed to do the first game, and then last game went really well when we were like, we can just swap Rise and Urgot into favorables. So
Yeah, and that lane swap seemed like it did wonders for you guys. You had some pretty stellar ganks onto Vlad there at the beginning, and it seemed like he was just never able to come back from it. What do you guys think that they were going to ban Rise at any point, or do you think they were right to ban what they banned?
I mean, I guess I can say this since like the season's over, but like I don't I think O9's Yasuo was really bad. So I don't know if it's worth it to ban it, but they seemed. I mean, I guess we played it enough early on where they felt scared, like not even scared, but they didn't want to risk letting it through and having it have a pop off game because it is very snowbally. So
Yeah. So
I can
wanna
respect
know,
that.
what was going through your mind in game 2 after they left the Nexus alive with like 4 autos worth of hell?
Uh,
And like what was going through comms in general, I guess.
we were sort of just like we hate this part of the game where we just have to wait for the inhib to spawn and then slowly like push our vision out and try to get a pick. I sat in their bot jungle for like probably just trying to find someone to overextend, and then I think I finally got the Cho'Gath eventually. But yeah, it's just like it's very tense because it's like if Ziggs gets there, he just like 3 shots the Nexus, so we just have to play really scared for most of the game. And then I managed to get a couple of good spears at the end, and it was
Oh
good.
yeah, I mean you popped off on the Nidalee throughout the game, and then you landed what was probably a game-winning spear to kill off the Ziggs.
Yeah, that was
Quite
nice.
impressive, we have to say.
Yeah, I think out of 4 spears thrown, 3 of them landed onto carries and pretty much secured you guys the win there. Well, cool. Anything
So-
you want to say about the series?
Uh,
Just without being queued up with a question.
I don't know. I thought both teams played really well. I think def- both mid laners had greedy plays were potentially bad, and I think that the bot lane was sort of going back and forth. Yeah, I think overall it was pretty close, but we managed to come out ahead.
And it
We did
was
some nice picks at the end, and yeah.
it was a lot of fun to watch and to cast. Final question for you is, you and the Poopoo crew. I actually don't know. The numbers are hard to keep track of, but the Poopoo crew are coming off of a victory in the Summer Splash, and now you've just won GRLCS Fall. What is the future of the Poopoo crew as a team? Do you think you're gonna stick it together, come back next split? Do you think you're done, you're retiring, or are you guys going to split off into different teams? What's the plan there, at least for
Uh,
now?
I think that if there's no LAN, we might try to play again. But if there's a LAN, then that makes it sort of difficult for us because we don't live super close.
Don't
But
live super close.
Sure.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah, we always like to try to have the land. People tend to enjoy it, but just a little bit hard sometimes to find a venue that can
yeah, for sure.
handle that many people, that many computers. Even when you try to do everything right, something breaks. Even if that's the electrical circuit sometimes.
Yeah.
Haha. Don't know how that happened. Anyway, well, that's going to be it unless Agent A2 has any other questions.
Nope. Thank you for the interview, 43.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody
Congratulations on your
for
victory.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right, so that's going to be it. Thank you for watching, everybody. We're going to be calling it here. We have a few third place matches left of the split to fully complete it, but that's going to be it as far as the finals go. We thank you guys so much for watching and for sticking with us this season. We might have some little casual things as well as some teamfight tactics stuff after the split wraps up, as well as some other little fun things on stream.
All right, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.